The I Am Rapaport app is available for free download on all Apple and Android platforms. Once the app is downloaded, go to IamRapaport.com and click the Get It Now tab to sign up for premium access. Listen to me. Tuesday and Friday episodes are free on the app. Premium access gets you all the primetime Wednesday, emergency, and archive episodes, plus exclusive videos and bonus content. What, you don't have premium access? Here is what you missed. Here I am alone in the gloom tomb. Game 7. This is why I podcast.
Hi, I have Metal World Peace on the line.
5 minutes, right?
5 minutes. 2 questions for the great Brian Scalabrine. Today, we're going deep to celebrate the great James Brown. Steven Jackson, how you feeling, my man?
LeBron, he was a rookie. He came and tried to dunk on me, and I have footage of it. I grabbed him and slammed him to the ground, and this wasn't even the playoffs. There's only room for 4 people on the banana boat.
Download the I Am Rapaport app today. What's up? This is Michael Rapaport. You are now listening to the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. On today's I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, we have some fantastic sick fucks of the week. LeBron blames updates, and Starbucks is not just a coffee place anymore. It's a fucking public bathroom. Plus, special guest, we are rebuilding the beast with Golden State Warrior world champion Festus Ezeli. He is rocking with me on the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. We're talking about cadaver surgery. We're talking about graduating high school at 14, coming to the United States from Nigeria, being 6'5" and have never played basketball in his life. He wound up getting drafted by the Golden State Warriors. A couple of years after that, he's an NBA champion. This guy's life should be a movie. Festus Ezeli is rocking with me on the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. We are rebuilding the beast with Festus. But first, me and G Moody got a whole bunch of shit to talk about. We're ranting, we're raving. Miles, Jordan, I need something funky. I need something lovely. I'm hyped up. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. That's something funky. It's the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast coming live and direct. My name is Michael Rapaport, a.k.a. the Gringo Mandingo, a.k.a. the Jake LaMotta of podcasting. You are now rocking with the best. I'm here with the 3-time podcast co-host of the year. The man name is G Moody. His last name rhymes with duty.
Yep.
G Monetti, always ready. Welcome to the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, the home of disruptive behavior and the anti-social network. How are you, Mr. Moody?
I'm good. Everything's good. Looking good, feeling good. Everything is good, man. I can't complain.
Oh, okay. That's fantastic. As I told you earlier on the show, today we have world champion from the Golden State Warriors, Festus Ezeli. This is one of the most bugged out interviews. Festus Ezeli played on the Golden State Warriors for about 5 years. Played with the world champion Golden State Warriors. Played on the team that lost to LeBron James, the famous 3-1 series. And he's got a bugged out story. The dude came to the United States when he was 14, 6'5" black dude, could not play basketball, couldn't play soccer, couldn't play kickball, was unathletic, was 6'5", totally fish out of water story. 5 years later, I think it's 5 years, winds up in the NBA. Winds up playing for the Golden State Warriors, got drafted 5 draft picks ahead of Draymond Green, and just a bugged out story. So we are rebuilding the beast and getting the full Festus Ezeli. Later on in the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, anybody who could talk about the pain and suffering of LeBron James, Festus Ezeli breaks it all down because he was there when they kicked his ass and he was there when they lost 3-1. So it's a fucking bugged out interview, not just about LeBron, but his story. I swear to God, it should actually be a movie. Like his story should be a movie. Right. Just like coming from Nigeria, being this. He talks about it. I don't want people to take it out of context. He talks about being a big black 14-year-old kid, 6'5", 6'6", never have played basketball, and all anyone wanted to do with him is have him play basketball. And he couldn't pick his nose and walk straight at the same time. And then he winds up getting drafted by the Golden State Warriors in the first round. It's just a bugged out story. So he's coming up later on. He just had cadaver surgery on his knee. This is just one of the most interesting, most bugged out interviews we've had, and it's very basketball centric and just very fish out of water centric. And it seems like a great starting point is LeBron James.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Mr. Moody, you made yet another completely bogus prediction. I don't know how long people can still refer to you as the Co-Hostradamus.
They still do, though.
No, they don't. They don't do it in all sincerity. Now it's sort of becoming, and I'm just trying to tell you this because I've known you since 1982. They're mocking you. You are being mocked.
Because of
Mr. Morris is mocking you.
Because the prior success. There's a precedent of success. So when one is wrong a couple of times, of course, they're gonna mock because they're used to me being right.
Okay. Do you remember the last time you were right? Because I don't. I went into the archives. I even broke rule number 1 of the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast, and I did an internal fact check, and I can't remember when the last time you were right. So I'm going to ask.
I can.
When was it?
When Trump won the presidency.
Okay, so over a year and a half ago was the last time you were right.
Yeah, I didn't make too many predictions after that.
Well, right now,
Trump
one of the
my
fans
benchmark.
reminded me. One of the fans had to remind me that you made a prediction, and it wasn't just a prediction, it was a prediction with a bet. One of your NBA predictions of this season, you said the Boston Celtics would not make the playoffs, and if the Boston Celtics don't make the playoffs, the punishment was for you to go on the train, the subway, and scream aloud, and I quote, "I love the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. I love the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. I fucking love the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast." It's 3 times. I love, and then I fucking love. Okay. So now you have to go on a train and basically speak your truth, but scare and essentially embarrass yourself because of another bogus prediction. A few days ago, and I will give you the floor. A few days ago, you predicted that LeBron blames, and his Cleveland Cavaliers would sweep the same Boston Celtics. We all know that didn't happen. Game 1, they got the snot beaten out of them. They got the shit beaten out of them. Now, I've learned that it's only one game. Okay, and we'll get to the fact that it's all nothing from you right now, my friend. Please, you will get the fucking microphone. I will turn my mic off. You could talk about it. You said that they would get swept. They're not getting swept. I am not going to say that Boston's going to win this series. I'm not going to say that yet. I was burned many times by this fuck.
You don't got no balls. If you're so confident
I don't got no
in
balls.
Your team,
it's one thing to have balls, and it's another thing to make fucking off the wall predictions.
No,
that my drunk,
you don't have balls. You don't have it.
Balls. You
like
said
Boston.
that the Celtics were getting swept.
Boston.
Your fucking balls. Where are your fucking balls,
I got them. I always say it. I always come out with it. You like Boston. You riding these motherfuckers jocks. Why don't you come out and say, yo, because I love Boston so much, I'm going with them. You don't got the guts. You don't got the cojones. You don't got the balls to say that. But when I come out like, fuck it. I believe this. I stand on the convictions. And the statute of limitations ran out for that first bet.
No, it didn't.
Was your job.
Fuck you.
It's your job.
They made the playoffs. It's playoff time. You got to make that fucking video. You made your fucking dunk video, and that caused a whole uproar. You're going to make that fucking video in the train, the 2 train, rush hour, you fuck. Not in the nighttime, not in the middle of the day, rush hour. I don't care if it's morning rush hour or afternoon rush hour, you fuck you. You're getting on that fucking train and you're going to say, and I quote, I love the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. I love the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. I fucking love the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast because the first two probably won't get that much attention, but when you curse loudly on a train, people are going to be like, whoa, we got a fucking nut job. And then you could creep off the train and end any further humiliation.
All right. So you picking Boston? You riding with them?
Yes.
Why can't you just ride and say, yo, I got them to win it? And I said a sweep. But when you win one game and you don't win another game, that's a gentleman's sweep. So we still rocking with that.
Mi amigo, and I am sort of bilingual. Mi amigo, we know very well that I know what a gentleman's sweep is. I was the guy with the broom in Cleveland last year. Let us not forget. I was that guy. I was that guy that after I came into the building with a broom, okay, they announced on the loudspeaker for everyone to hear, no brooms will be allowed in the building.
Right.
And I was the only guy. So they should have just said, Michael Rapaport, if you're here tonight, you fuck, you're not allowed to bring your broom in. Right. I was that guy. That's me. That's not a myth. That's not made up. That's who I am. So I know what a gentleman's sweep is. And I'll tell you this.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. Thursday, the 17th, make sure you watch Skip and Shannon. Make sure you watch The Herd because I'm going on Fox Sports, okay? And I'm going to bring I'm bringing brooms. I'm bringing towels. I'm bringing a dustbuster. I'm bringing all that shit because Shannon Sharp with his fucking LeBron James envy and you fucking guys, it's over. And if he's so fucking smart, he would have the smarts to hire a coach who he would listen to and get some fucking teammates, talk about with some balls, besides some Kevin Love. He put this team together, and this team is going to fuck him. This team will be fucking LeBron James out of the finals. You fuck you. Yeah, I say that to you. You move. You fuck you.
But you not caping for Boston. You straddling the fence.
I just said they're going to beat
bullshit. You saying this shit right now. Boston wins. Say it.
I said it the last podcast.
Oh, no, you're straddling the fence. You just said earlier today, just a few minutes ago, I don't know if they're going to win. See, that's soft shit. Why don't you come out with it?
Oh, okay. I'm going to come out with it. Boston is going to beat the fucking Cavaliers, okay? They might sweep these fucks. They might sweep these fucks. Your guy's out of gas. He's out of that A-Rod. He's out of that Roger Clemens. He's out of that Lance Armstrong.
Suggesting he's on.
I didn't suggest anything. These are just other great athletes. He's out of that Sammy Sosa, that Barry Bonds, that Ben Johnson.
Yo, dude, these dudes ain't winning another game, man.
So you're okay?
Watch what I tell you.
Because Wednesday we don't. All right, you know what? Okay, here it is right now. I am telling you right now, emergency podcast will be dropping after Game 2 on the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast app for premium listeners. Me and G Moody, Gerald, you fuck. I'm telling you, I am going to be in your ass. No, Bruno. I am going to be in your ass. No, Bruno. Live podcast, you fuck you.
All right.
Live podcast, you fuck you.
See, I'm wrong because I got the balls to say, yo, I believe this, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You straddle the fence. Oh, they might win one and then two.
I didn't say. I just told you what it is.
Okay, now you did.
You got the balls. You sound fucking nuts. You're going to be on the train. You're going to look nuts for making these fucking off-the-wall predictions.
Just like Trump.
I want to say this to Mr. Morris, who does a fantastic job as the Minister of Defense. Also want to give a shout out to my man Darts Golden, who we got to get him back on Twitter. Aaron, the entire Rapapack, Vermont Rapapack, South Carolina Rapapack, everybody out there. I'm not fact-checking. So I'm giving an entire shout out to everybody. But you, Mr. Morris, stop posting G Moody as the Co-Hostradamus. Do you see what you're causing? This fucking guy thinks that you're sincere. Or at least just tell him, this is being done out of sarcasm, Moody, you fuck you.
Why did they make it in the first place?
You're 1 for
Crazy,
63.
baby. Nah, go back. Because nobody would make it if it was just a one-time thing. I've been right all the time. Think about the balls I had. When LeBron and the motherfuckers was down 3-1, I said they were going to win. The only fucking guy. That means I got heart while you straddled the fence and you were fucking dying. And they won again, and then they won again. It's you. You don't got the ball to come out.
The metal, the grit.
You're not a fucking mensch. You don't got the balls to come out.
Well, we're game 1 in that series. We're game 1 Golden State. Golden State is now up 1-0 versus the Houston Rockets. That is going to continue to be a great series. But the Boston Cleveland series, you know what I got into, Moody? I did this for the first time. They call them prop predictions. They're the bets within the game. And I love this because I said I was confused and I was emotionally torn on how to do this. But I did this for the very first time, and it was dope. Game 1, these predictions. Like, it could be something as simple as, in the first quarter, who will win the jump ball? In the first quarter, will the Cavaliers make 3 or more 3-point plays? And it's going throughout the game. They're bets. And it kept me so involved with the game. And I'm going to continue to do it because it just, for me, like, I get so emotionally out of control with the fucking Cavaliers. This gives me something to focus on. But you know what's funny? My prop predictions, game 1, I bet twice on LeBron James, and that fucker, he fucked me. Game 1. He fucked me. And then after the game, did you see him with his big fancy memory tricks?
Because he's a savant. He's a basketball savant.
He's a savant. He's a basketball savant, but he doesn't like to hire coaches that know more than him. So he got Ty Lue sitting over there. He almost killed poor Ty Lue, and I don't mean that as a joke. He had Ty Lue, had to sit out from the stress. Okay, and everybody will go, Ty Lue. We'll see how good of a coach Ty Lue is next year when LeBron is in Los Angeles. We'll see what kind of a fucking coach he is then.
He never said he was a great coach. He got plucked out of obscurity, and he took advantage of his position. He never said he was Pat Riley. He never said he was fucking all these great coaches. LeBron put him on. Everybody knows, and when LeBron breaks out, T. Lue gonna break out. Same shit.
Well, the sports betting thing was big because a huge thing was passed. The Supreme Court the other day struck down a 1992 federal law that banned commercial sports betting in most states. Essentially, sports betting is just one step closer, a couple of cunt hairs away from being legal across the country. Yeah. And I think it's an interesting thing because it's like, if you can't beat them, join them. And if there's money to be made, listen, it's not the 40s. You know what I mean? It's 2018 right. And the United States of America. And if they do this legally, it's like weed. It's like, why let the bad guys make all the money when we can make all the money? No disrespect to any weed dealers out there. I'm just saying, they're like, if there's money to be made, they're going to get their hands in it. And I don't know the details of it. I don't know how it's going to work. And it's not etched in, there could be, who the hell knows?
It's good.
I think it's good.
Yeah. When you go to the games, they're going to have these little iPads. You're going to be able to bet on who's going to make the free throw. If the guy's going to, it's going to be like that in the future. You're going to be able to bet, like you said, on who's going to win the tip off. You bet everything. I'm with it. Why not?
I'm with it. And I think it's just another way to make sports interactive and all that stuff. So I think it's great. We are in the midst of the NBA playoffs, and I am telling you right now, usually an emergency podcast is impromptu, but after Game 2 tonight, if you're listening to this podcast on Tuesday, May 15th, we will be doing an emergency podcast, me and G Moody, discussing Game 2. Matter of fact, let's just that's happening. That's happening. We're doing that emergency podcast, and you can get all emergency podcasts, all emergency short films, all of the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast archives on the premium subscription for the app, $2.99 a month, and it's well fucking worth it. Because when the Cavaliers are down 2-0, I want to hear what G. Moody, whose last name rhymes with Duty, has to say. Let's move on. Can we agree to move on?
Yep.
Jesus fucking Christ. Making me crazy here, man. Yeah, what's up, Moody? Hey.
Hey, did you hear Starbucks is their response to the racial stuff is to open all bathrooms to all customers, to all people.
I don't agree with it.
That tells you the incident that happened with the 2 black dudes in that Starbucks in Philly. That tells you it wasn't about race. The media presented it as race, because why would the policy change? Why would the bathroom policy all of a sudden change? Because that's what it really was about. So now, as a result, here's what the owner, the CEO, Howard Schultz from Canarsie, Brooklyn. You got to be like Steinbrenner. You can't be doing this shit. You fucked yourself up. Here, check it out. Quote, "We don't want to become a public bathroom, but we're going to make the right decision 100% of the time and give people the key, because we don't want anyone at Starbucks to feel as if we are not giving access to you. We're not giving access to you to the bathroom because you are less than." You see? Now, that move will turn Starbucks bathroom into fucking downtown LA, 40 Deuce, all vagrants.
Totally
will be
agree.
In those bathrooms.
Totally
all of them.
agree.
And then a lawsuit if you refuse somebody the key based on the how they look. If they look like a vagabond and you say, "Oh, you can't have the key," then you open yourself up to a lawsuit.
You're going to have motherfuckers coming in there taking sponge baths. You're going to have motherfuckers in there grooming themselves. You're going to have, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm somebody that understands and has no problem with the rule. The bathroom is for customers only. And I am also somebody that respects and upkeeps a nice, clean public bathroom. Meaning, when I go into a clean public bathroom, I treat it as such.
Right,
okay?
right.
And I'm not one of these people who pisses on the floor. I'm not one of these people who throws my tissue on the floor, and worse. Because we all been in public bathroom, men and women, that are disgusting. When one is well kept, I appreciate it. So now, whether you're a customer or not a customer, you could go in there, drop a deuce, piss all over the floor, give yourself a sponge bath, brush your teeth, take a fucking nap, do whatever the fuck you want. I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, and you see, if I was him, if I'm Howard Schultz, the CEO, I'd say, oh, the reason why this happened was because they weren't clear on the policy. So now, as a result of this, we're going to state the policy and we're going to put it above the door.
Right. Bathrooms are for customers only. I don't give a fuck what you think.
Boom. That's it. But the race mafia hit them up hard. So the company is put in a position to where it's like a public relations nightmare. So what you did was shoot yourself in the foot and open yourself up to lawsuits if one of those baristas deny anyone the key. You're dumb. You should be like Steinbrenner and say, fuck this shit. This is what it is.
I totally agree. And now if you work at Starbucks, not only are you making coffee and not only are you making Egg McMuffins and all those things, you're cleaning a bathroom, because I guarantee you they're not hiring an outside person to clean the shithole bathrooms that are going to be, especially in the cities, especially in the areas where there's foot traffic. And this don't have to do with race, creed, or color. Motherfuckers are going to be coming in there shitting on the floor out of spite. And I'm going to be the guy who really has to use the bathroom because I'm a sufferer of ulcerative colitis, and I'm going to walk in there, and God forbid I slip on somebody else's human feces. Then who's the asshole, Howard Schultz? You fucking punk.
Yeah, that's right. Yo, you supposed to know. You from Brooklyn, man. Yo, you set the policy. It's my company. The customer is right. But this happened because the customer wasn't clear on the policy because it wasn't stated. So now you're going to have 40 deuce in all of your bathrooms, and you can't backpedal from this. You can't.
I totally agree, and I think Howard Schultz punked out.
Yeah.
And you're getting soft Howard Schultz. You're supposed to be from BK. You're supposed to be from Crooklyn. Manhattan keeps on making it. Brooklyn keeps on taking it. No, that's not the case anymore, is it, Howard Schultz?
You're going to have
it's a coffee.
homeless.
And I got to be honest, at my local Starbucks, I already saw this today. I saw a motherfucker in there talking loud, cursing, bringing attention to himself, FaceTiming people on his phone, being obnoxious.
See?
Nobody said shit to him.
It was a brother?
I'm not saying what it was because I don't want.
Tell me. Motherfucker, tell me.
Oh, it was a black guy. There's a fucking black guy. Now,
Yeah.
the people at the root, you want to write your May expose on me? Go ahead and write it, you fucks. Go ahead and write it. And also this, everybody was so upset when what has any new Janet Jackson shit come out since Janet Jackson Appreciation Day? Huh? I'm asking you, Moody.
Oh, I didn't hear she ain't had no.
Yeah, she don't have no
inches out.
shit popping off. Rihanna got shit popping off.
Oh, Rihanna's bad. Hell yeah.
Rita
All the
Ora
way
got
around.
shit popping off. Cardi B got shit popping off. Janet Jackson, she's a legend. She's this, she's that, and the other. I haven't heard any new bangers from Janet Jackson. No disrespect to Janet Jackson, but that's what these people got all upset. Oh, you're a racist. Don't talk about Janet. Suck my fucking dick.
Oh.
Yeah, suck it.
Yo.
Not Janet Jackson. I know Janet Jackson.
Right.
I fucking know You know what Janet Jackson's favorite movie is? True Romance. You know who happened to be in True Romance? Me, you fuck you. Me.
Yo, but homeboy.
You threw me for a loop with that shit, Howard Schultz.
Homeboy at that Starbucks getting galvanized because he know.
Yes.
Yo, they put that company in a retreat. It's the race mafia.
Money was in there acting like I want someone to throw me out. I'm looking for this lawsuit.
Yeah, that's the new hustle.
Because I don't care if he's white or black. Homeboy who was in there like talking loud, he's FaceTiming, screaming, yelling.
Yeah.
Man, get the fuck up out of here, Duke.
Yeah. See, that's how you're supposed to deal with it.
It doesn't matter what color you are. White,
Yeah.
black, Asian, Chinese, fucking Puerto Rican, Spanish, French, German, Italian, Australian. You in here talking loud, FaceTiming like this is your house? Get the fuck up out of here, Duke. You disturbing customers.
What would Aiello say to him?
Hey, you cocksucker! Hey, asshole! I'm trying to drink my fucking vanilla latte, and you're over there screaming and yelling. Did you buy a coffee? Don't worry, I got my fucking latte. Did you buy a fucking coffee? No, then get the fuck out of here. I don't own the fucking joint. I don't give a fuck. You're disrupting me and everybody else. I'll buy you a fucking blueberry muffin. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
I want to put this out in the zeitgeist. I did a podcast with Ben Baller. It's coming up. Dope podcast. And he asked me point blank, why isn't the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast sponsored by a cough drop? If anybody should be the sponsor of a cough drop, and if anybody wants to test drive a cough drop to see, I make the best cough drop in the world. And to prove it, I gave Michael Rapaport a cough drop for a week, and boom, his cough disappeared.
Right.
I mean, it sounds like an off the beaten path sponsorship, but I mean, I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast cough drops. If somebody has a cough drop that can cure this cough, the cough of life, they'll be a billionaire.
Ludens, where you at, Ludens?
Where you at, Ludens? Totally agree with you on that, Moody. Totally, and really, I think that is some bullshit across the board.
Look what they did.
And I think that public. You want to use a public bathroom, it should be a public bathroom. But in my opinion, listen, there's other places to go. No disrespect to the less fortunate. No disrespect to the homeless. But Starbucks is a place of business. It's not a fucking public bathroom. It's not a place you come in and brush your hair. It's not a place you come in and clip your toenails and all that other shit.
Hey, that's what I say. And you see how they presented it as race, but it wasn't about that. You see? And got people all up in arms and all that. I knew what it was about. Bathroom. And they make it seem like, black people can't, we're sitting there and they called the cops on us because we're black. Get the fuck out of here. It was about the bathroom. Hence, the policy changing. Oh, that's in response to this is what we're going to do. We're going to open up the bathroom. You didn't say it was about the bathroom. Bullshit.
This was another thing that got me riled up, and I can only do so much. I can only amp it up so much, Moody. You know what I mean? Like I blow a fucking gasket doing this shit. Okay. But the other day I saw this was all over the news. There was a quote unquote sex expert.
Oh.
She's a quote unquote sexuality expert, not sex, but like on sexuality. And this is just, I don't know how you get, I don't know if this woman had a degree or not, but she was on some show. Her name is Deanne Carson. And she was saying in a way to like have boys and little girls respect boundaries and all that stuff I agree with. You know, obviously, you know, we need to teach these things at home. But she was suggesting this sexuality expert who may or may not even have kids herself. I don't know if this woman has kids herself, Deanne Carson.
Probably not.
I have no idea. I have no idea. That's not the point. But the point is that if she had kids, she couldn't make this outrageous suggestion that parents, starting immediately, fresh out of the hospital with a 3-day-old,
damn,
1-year-old, 2-year-old, 6-month-old, 19-month-old, whatever, should ask their kids with their shit diaper, with their diarrhea diaper, with their piss diaper. You remember when your kid's little, how many diapers you change a day? You're a diaper changing, shit changing machine. Any parent who's changed diapers, any aunt, any grandparent, any babysitter who has changed little kids' diapers has gotten shat on and pissed on right in their face. Now, I don't have little girls. I had little boys. I don't know if women, little girls pee, the trajectory goes like that. But my 2 sons pissed in my face numerous times.
Damn.
That's just the nature of the beast. Rest assured, I pissed in my mom and father's face as you did, G. Moody, and we know your last name rhymes with duty. This lady's suggesting, with infants and all that, we should ask our little kids when they're sitting there with a diarrhea diaper, can I change your diaper? To sort of develop a voice for the kids. Listen, crazy lady.
Oh, shit.
Listen. Have you ever been in a movie theater? Have you ever been on an airplane? Have you ever been on a New York City train? And all the other places? I change my kids' diapers, and you talk about public bathrooms. When you have to change that shit diaper, you'll go anywhere. I've changed it on park benches. Listen, I love babies. Everyone knows this about me. I love my sons, carrying them around, to have my own kids to carry all the time, fantastic. But I draw the line at a shit diaper. We're going to change that shit diaper. And I'm not asking a 9-month-old boy, can daddy change the shit diaper? I'm changing the shit diaper. So I don't know what this lunatic is talking about. And how are they supposed to answer?
That's what I was saying. What language? Since they haven't formed language, how do you know the answer is yes or no? Have you gotten to that part of the thing?
I would hedge my bet, since gambling is going to be legal, and say this woman doesn't have kids. She doesn't know what. This is just some wacky shit to get her on CNN.
Yeah. You can't have kids with that type of, that's not even logic. That's ridiculous. How did they come up with that, though? If you're a sexuality expert, how did you come up with that? Where's the case study that they can understand English, that I can ask a question
I'm asking
and I will
get a response? See, that's that millennial bullshit. We used to, well, how do you feel? Do you want to go to the movies? What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? Listen, here's the food. Man. Listen, when I was 16 years old, my father, by the time I was 16, when I was lucky enough to have a home-cooked meal, he'd put a bowl of pasta. He wouldn't even heat the sauce up. He put it outside my door, literally knock on the door like I was in jail, and it would be on the floor outside my door. Okay, all this Brady Bunch shit that people are talking, oh, we're going to have this, and we're going to give their voices. You give their fucking voices, and you know what you wind up with? A study that just said that millennials, teenagers and early 20s are suffering from more depression than ever. And I feel bad about it, but it's because we're giving these fucking kids too much of a voice before they've earned the right to have a voice. Imagine, you remember how dumb you were at 19, Moody? Remember I know how dumb I was at 19? I was at my dumbest probably at 23, 24. But at 19, you think my father could give two shits about what I wanted to eat for dinner?
Right.
He wanted me fucking out of the house. I want you out of this fucking house. Get the fuck out. I don't give a fuck where you go. You're lucky I give you $5 fucking. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You're asking a 2-year-old. If you at 2, my kids were still wearing diapers. Imagine asking it. So if you ask the 2-year-old, do you want daddy to change the diaper? And the 2-year-old says no. Am I supposed to listen?
Yeah.
Look at the precedent you're starting by doing that.
According to her.
Now she's nuts. She's lucky I didn't put her on the sick fuck of the week.
Because, you got to give him a rash. He said no. Don't change it. 2 days later, it's caked up on him. He listened to him. Remember, you got to listen. That's how these motherfuckers listen.
Yeah, and then he got a nice diaper rash, and then he'll learn. Well, can I fix it? Well, can daddy put ointment on it? No? Okay, get out of my face. Listen.
That's the participation trophies, all kind of sucker shit.
All of it. Imagine with the Brownsville Jets, a participation trophy.
Oh, man.
Imagine asking the late, great Jocko Jackson, Greg Jackson, for a participant. Well, I was on the team, Jock. Imagine that.
Oh, man, you'd be cussed out. But I'm glad I came up when I came up. I'm glad I'm able to see this sucker shit, all that dumb shit, and just laugh at it and say, that's going to turn these motherfuckers into something else. Wait 20 years. These motherfuckers going to grow up. Watch what happens.
Listen, me and G Moody, Sunday, June 3rd, live in San Francisco. Me and G Moody, the I Am Rapaport stereo podcast, live, 5:15 p.m. on a Sunday in San Francisco. We are rocking for 60 minutes plus straight. Live in San Francisco, clusterfest.com. That is clusterfest.com. June 3rd from San Francisco. The last time we were in San Francisco, we turned it out. We're going to do it again. It's a fantastic festival. We're bringing the fucking noise. We're bringing in the cavalry. Is it Calvary?
Calvary.
Yeah, I said it right. Thank you. 5:15 p.m. You can get tickets at clusterfest.com, clusterfest.com. You know what we do live. All right. I thought I heard it. Yes. Oh, yeah. You hear it in the background. That's the sick fuck of the week.
This guy's really sick.
Theme music.
Lock him up. How could you do it?
Don't let him out.
Damn. You fucked the dog?
You what?
You fucked the dog? Why would you fuck the dog?
Why would you fuck your girlfriend's dog?
What sick fuck?
The sick fuck of the week. It's earned. Earned. Not given. You did. What? No. It's an award that is earned, not given. This is an award that is earned, not given. This Wednesday, along with some more surprises, we will be doing Sick Fuck or Beyond the Sick Fuck on the premium app. Do not live in FOMO, people. Do not live in FOMO, okay? Premium episodes of the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast in primetime Wednesday. You have to have the premium app. I don't want to be redundant, but it's only $2.99 a month. This episode right here is free. I know that it is well worth $2.99 to hear another episode Wednesdays in primetime where we'll be playing the second game of Sick, Fuck, or Beyond. But let's stay focused. Right now we are playing the traditional, the award-winning Sick Fuck of the Week. It is an award that is earned, not given. It is an award that is earned, not given. I have been given several requests to give this man the award for Sick Fuck of the Week in Florida. You know, if it starts off in Florida, it's going to be good. A man was arrested for practicing karate in a park. We'll say, well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? The way he was practicing karate was by kicking swans in the head in a park in downtown Orlando.
A swan. Damn. Yo, they're so graceful and
That's our true blue sick fuck of the week. There's nothing more, nothing less. That is a sick fuck of the week. Listen, you want to go to the park and do your Tai Chi. You want to go to the park and do yoga. You want to go to the park and do your CrossFit, do your wind sprints. You want to go to the park and practice karate. You want to get crunk? You want to practice your kicks? Kick a tree, tough guy. Since you're such a fucking badass, kick a tree. You go to the park and you kick swans and you obviously kills them, you piece of shit.
yeah. You have to think about that. I'm going to go here and kick these guys, kick them in the head.
Apparently he had been doing it a few times and then he was caught. This guy, his last name is Mantella. And if you look him up, look this sick fuck of the week up, take a guess what he looks like, G.
A what? What does he look like?
A sick fuck. Rocco Mantella actually looks like a bug-eyed sick fuck who shaves his eyebrows. He looks totally off the fucking wall. Looks totally fucking nuts. Congratulations, asshole. I hope somebody practices karate on you while you're locked up in the pen.
Oh.
Next up.
Can I give you one?
Oh, go, please.
Oh. A female student from Cornell University took offense to the professor suggesting that maybe they should dress up to give their senior thesis. So she got really upset about that. How dare you say we dress up? So what she did is she stripped down to her underwear and delivered her senior thesis in front of everybody as a blow to patriarchy.
Right.
So
everybody's a fucking freedom fighter, right?
Yeah. Social justice. And how dare you tell me to get dressed up? That millennial bullshit.
Right.
So you're getting mad that the guy said you should look your best. See what I'm saying? That's just these people should be dismissed.
So she showed up in her bra and underwear.
Yeah.
F. You didn't do what I asked you. I'm the professor. See, that's the thing. You don't get to make the rules. If that's your protest, great. Now you got an F in the class, asshole. And I'm sorry that your parents asked you should they change your diarrhea diaper.
Exactly.
An Indiana woman. I got to be honest. I'm hedging this woman right now. Now, I didn't fact check. I know we had some crazy stuff all year. And you know, the coveted Sick Fuck of the Year award, we're only in May, but I got my eye on this chick.
All right.
I mean, she looks the part. Kelly Cochran from Indiana, who admitted to injecting her husband with a lethal dose of heroin, which probably wouldn't get you on the chart of just a sick fuck. She may have killed 9 other people, definitely beyond a sick fuck. But what makes her stick out to me, this is way out there, and this, again, a lot of fans of the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast who are sending me sick fucks. She is also suspected of serving her husband's remains, the remains of her dead husband. She is suspected now through an investigation of serving her husband's remains at a barbecue.
Oh, damn. So
she killed him. She cooked him.
Little kosher salt, a little Hungarian paprika, and spice it up and throw it on the skillet. You got a finger, a thumb, fricasseed thumb, but that's the guy you love? See, what is love? What is not love?
She killed him, she cooked him, and she served him up at a barbecue. Listen, people, I suspect that all the listeners out here have better friends than this fucking nutcase, Kelly M. Cochran from Indiana. But when you go to a barbecue now, you got to keep your head on a swivel because you don't know what the fuck you're getting to eat.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Now, I was going to leave this up to you, Mr. Moody.
All right.
Do you think this is a sick fuck? Or do you think this is a boss that is needed in these times of millennials because her employees were young? A real estate firm in China, and it's all caught on video. This isn't made up. A real estate firm in China The real estate is incentive. You sell, you make money. You sell, you make money. You get your percentage, the company makes money. A boss in China, in order to keep her employees in line, for the employees that were making money, they line up. The employees that were not making money, they line up in front of the boss, who's a female, and she smacks the shit out of them, one by one. Not love taps, smacks their fucking faces repetitively as hard as she can. They videotape it, and then she makes them get on their knees and like do humiliating shit. This isn't a legitimate business. This legitimately happened. Do you think this is a sick fuck, or do you think this is a necessary evil in order to run big business in the world that we live in? I'll give you the floor, Moody.
Yeah, I think it's China. It's in China, right?
Yes.
Yeah, different culture. So my judgment is different. I like it. It lights a fire up under the employees to say, listen, if you don't make these sales and you don't get this real estate shit going, B, you're going to get smacked and we're going to smack fire out your ass in front of everybody, which will give you more initiative to make those sales and to close those deals, knowing a slap is looming if you don't. I like it. They should have implemented here.
No problem with your take on this. Finally, we all know how I feel about feral cats, wild animals. I would never hurt one of these animals. I don't like rats. I don't like mice. As much as I can appreciate their beauty, I don't like seeing deers walking by me. If I'm in a car and I'm riding out to Jersey and I see deers, I will stop and take in their beauty. I like to be in a car. You never know when you could get one of these crazed fucking deers. They could attack you. You never know. I don't like coyotes. Historically, this is well documented. I don't like water bugs. I don't like any of it. Okay? Don't like any of it. This sick fuck, a police officer, a sheriff's deputy, walked up to a groundhog. You know what a groundhog is? It's a small little animal.
Yeah.
Now, even I wouldn't do something like this. Even I, if push came to shove, I would move it along, even if I have to use it with my foot or something. A groundhog was blocking traffic. The sick fucking sheriff, instead of moving it, using his baton, using like a stick to move it off the road, shot and killed a groundhog on camera in front of people to move traffic along.
Oh, hey. So you got a problem with the cop?
Yeah, he's a sick fuck of the week because you know how small a groundhog is?
I know, but hey, man, it's either him or you're going to stop all the human beings from getting home and for this animal. Hey,
we're not talking about rush hour on the 405. We're talking about, like, if you see the videotape of it, why I would make him the sick fuck of the week. First of all, groundhog is it's half the size of a small cat. Instead of walking up to it. He could have just shoot it
away. Oh, he didn't have
shoot it away?
He didn't have to execute it, is what you're saying.
In broad daylight, in the middle of the road, there's no reason to shoot the fucking groundhog, you sick fuck. You're a sick fuck of the week. No questions asked. Listen.
Yeah, it is.
It's the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. You are going to want to listen. Rebuilding the Beast with Festus Ezeli. We're talking basketball. We're talking Nigeria. We're talking coming to the United States after graduating high school at 14. All that and more. I'm telling you, this guy's story should be a movie. Festus Ezeli of the world champion Golden State Warriors. Festus Ezeli of the iconic 73-win Golden State Warriors. Coming up next on the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. All I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast t-shirts are available at districtlines.com/I Am Rapaport. We have a gorgeous brand new design, the You Fuck You Buttersoft I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast t-shirt, and it's spelled U-F-U-K-U. There's no C. So when you first see it, you almost think it's like a university t-shirt. It's gorgeous. The brand new Buttersoft You Fuck You t-shirt, plus the entire collection. Of course, the Wasteland t-shirt, the Gringo Man Dingo t-shirt, the Sucker Shit t-shirt, and now the You Fuck You t-shirt, plus the I Am Pacino t-shirt. All available and on sale at districtlines.com/I Am Rapaport. All right, here we go. I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. Festus Ezeli, world champion. Got the rings and things. You're 1-for-1 in the NBA Finals. But I don't want to get into that. I want to get into that in a second.
Yeah.
Cadaver surgery.
We're jumping right into it.
Cadaver surgery on your knee.
Yeah.
Couple of questions about the cadaver. Number one, do you know any background on where they got the cadaver for? Number two, did the people of the family of this person that they were used, they might be like, yo, this guy's an NBA player. They might come for some money. How does this work? What was the surgery and how are you?
All right, so I'm gonna give you background first because this is the first time I've actually talked about this since I had the surgery. I had a media thing about it a year ago, and I've been underground for the last year, and I said I didn't want to do anything media until I was ready to go.
Okay.
And you asked me how I'm doing. I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Running, feeling really good. Before I had to have it. You know what it is? It was a cartilage transplant.
Okay.
And they put it into my knee, and they got it from somebody else. It was this really crazy surgery.
What is it called?
They call it OATS. It's osteochondral allograft transplant surgery.
Okay.
So it's they have to get it from somebody else, and it's a relatively new procedure that just happened recently, and it just came up recently. I had it in Colorado, and how this surgery goes is this is why it's crazy is that. Obviously, like everything else, right? If you tear your ACL, they get it from somebody else, they put it in your knee, and that's good.
That's what the injury was, tear the ACL?
No. This is a cartilage. So this is different, is that it has to be fresh. So this is the different stipulations to get this surgery. First of all, the person has to be the same size as me, right?
That's crazy.
That's one crazy aspect of it because the person has to be my size. The exact same size
or in the
They have to be in the weight range because it has to be able to handle my weight.
Okay, but they don't have to be the same height.
No, not necessarily the same height. Just like that same weight.
Okay.
And then you have to have the surgery a week max, a week after the person passes away and the organ is harvested.
Okay.
So I'm literally, and you never know, right? So I go through the whole procedure of preparing for it, right? And how it goes is, you get on the list and you literally have to just sit there by your phone waiting for the doctor to call you and say, hey, it's come in. So it could take anywhere from tomorrow to a year from now.
That's crazy, especially for a big dude.
Especially for an NBA player that needs to get back to playing and doing his job.
Right, but it's not like you're 6 foot. We're 7 foot dude.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when did you get the call? What was the process like? And how does the whole thing work for you?
Well, for me, I was waiting, and it took me 3 months. I'm literally staying there by the phone, and I know they must have thought
I was in Colorado.
I was waiting. I was in Portland at the time.
Okay.
And I was waiting by my phone for 3 months. And, what it was I really, I got to a point where I just couldn't push it anymore, and I really needed to do something to get back to playing and playing at the level that I was playing at.
Right.
So that was the procedure that the doctor recommended. And it was very, very experimental. So for me, I was like, I'm really just giving it everything I got at that point. And yeah, I was waiting by the phone, and eventually they called me after 3 months. But before that 3 months, every couple of weeks, every few days, I would call them like, hey, what's going on? Just making sure my number still works.
Right.
Like, y'all just call. And I was just waiting. And at some point I was just like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I need to get this done so I can get back. The sooner I get it done, the sooner I can get back. But they couldn't do anything about it. And yeah, I got it done last March.
And so how are you feeling today? Because I see you're I love when athletes, because I think it's inspiring because, if you're a fan, it's like we think that you guys are just out on the court and doing your thing.
Yeah.
But, I've had the privilege of, being at practices and you see the work. I've had a privilege of being at Golden State practice. You see the work that the Klays and the Stephs and that all you guys, put into, that we don't see, when we tune into, TNT, the ESPN, and you've been sharing your videos. So how do you feel now, and where's your body at now?
And I feel good, man. And that's the thing is, when you have surgery, it takes you a while to get back to where you feel good about, good about yourself. But I was already at a place where, I needed to get something done. So when I got it done, I didn't know what to expect. I just know that given that it's me and my mindset and the way I put so much effort and work into what I do, I knew that it was going to work out. I just didn't know when, I didn't know how, And so going through the process, I'm in bed. I'm bedridden for 2 months after the surgery. Yeah. And that was probably, 2017 was probably one of the toughest years of my life. And that's saying a lot because, me as a kid coming from Nigeria and moving out here and learning to play the game in a different country, my story has been so crazy already.
Right.
That when I added last year into it, it was just like, God, like I do everything the right way. I try to, I work hard. I try to be a great guy, and I'm in this position now. That was one of the toughest years of my life.
So what is that like being bedridden? You're an athlete. You're a young guy.
No, it's tough. It messes
Are you
with
at
your
home?
mind. I'm the first 2 weeks I was by the hospital, which is in Vail, Colorado, and then So actually for a lot of the year I was in Vail, Colorado, which is where I had my surgery, and I'm sitting there, and it's kind of a weird thing. It's almost like a resort style area, but I couldn't enjoy any of it because I'm in bed. And it was so...
Literally, like you couldn't walk?
I could not walk.
Could they wheelchair you? Like, could you go out and get sun or just to move around, go get a coffee?
You know what it is? It was snowing at the time, too.
Oh, Jesus.
So I was really stuck. I didn't want to risk anything going out there on crutches or on my wheelchair and falling. So the only thing I could do, or only thing I wanted to do was to go to rehab. I would go to rehab and come home. And then rehab is literally learning how to bend my leg,
Right.
And so, it was a really interesting process, man. You learn a lot about yourself. That's a long time to sit there with your thoughts.
Right.
And just sit there and talk. I'm so grateful that I have family.
Right.
Because, it was a tough time for me to, really face myself, because your identity is a basketball player. Like, this is what I know. I'm always active. I always do stuff. I work hard. I'm always in the gym. So now I'm just sitting here. And I can't be active. I can't move. I can't walk.
Did you ever think like, fuck it? Like, I don't need this. Like, I played, I'm educated. I graduated high school when I'm 14, which I want to get to. Like, I don't, or
real
that
shit,
was,
real shit. Dude, a lot of times I sat there like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm tired of this shit. Like, I can't take this shit anymore. But the thing about that though is, this is where Rebuilding the Beast came from. The mindset of what it is like this movement I started. The mindset is, I'm sitting there and I'm laying there and I'm crying, right? And I'm not even somebody who's an emotional person like that. But in this moment, I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? And as I start crying, my mom, who's with me, my parents were with me, but my mom starts crying. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe what's going on. There was a switch that turned on in my head at that moment. It's like, I have to be stronger than this. I have to be stronger than the moment. And that's fucking life, man. Like in life, like things happen. Things are going to happen. And there's been so many moments in my life where I've been knocked down. Even my trip coming to America, moving here by myself and learning a new culture, being in a new environment, being with somebody I'd barely ever known, living with my uncle. I'd never met him. And so it was all these different things that have happened in my life already that make me feel like something great is coming after this.
Right.
I just got to be strong.
I got you.
And especially being strong for the people who love me and who dare to support me. I can't quit.
I got you. So you're feeling good.
I feel good, man. I feel good. Right now I'm getting ready to come back next season.
Good.
And
how old are you now?
I'm 28.
Okay.
28. It's been a hell of a journey, man. What's funny, man, is a few people send me the article of I missed 2 seasons. And a few people send me the article of Emeka Okafor. Emeka Okafor is the way to say it if I really want to use my Nigerian accent. But, that comes out every once in a while. But Emeka Okafor, he plays for the New Orleans Pelicans. He took a few years off because he had a herniated disc in his back. And that's actually a friend of mine. He actually recruited me a long time ago to go to UConn. Seeing him go through his journey, I was actually with him last summer. We did a camp together in New York. And seeing him going through his process and not giving up is so inspiring for everybody.
Right.
You know, so what I want to do and what I want to be able to do is, you know, part of life is everybody goes through these tough times, right? I want to be able to inspire with my story. Like, I'm going to get through my shit. I'll be back next season. I'll be doing what I do. But I don't want it to go for naught. Like, I don't want it to just be a wasted story. I want to be able to tell this story and have other people tell their stories as well. I know you coming from New York and, you know, fighting your way up in the ranks. Like, dude, I watched you in Hitch. I watched you on Friends, all this different things. You know, Friends is actually the reason why my accent has changed, because I used to watch Friends every night before I went to sleep.
In Nigeria or here?
No, when I got here. My
funny.
accent was so thick when I came to America.
You sounded like Ross.
Yeah. Oh, shit. My accent was so thick when I came to America that my way of learning how to speak like this, because I wanted people to understand me. The whole point about it is the communication. And I would sit by the TV every night and just watch TV and repeat whatever they say. So some of my comedy, actually, some of the stuff, my humor is actually that dry comedy from Friends.
That's fucking funny. That's crazy. But that makes sense, because also, like, the way they spoke, it was very sort of clean American dialect. And it was, you know, it was sanitized and it's humorous. And it's that's funny, man.
So, yeah, man. And I actually kind of miss my accent now, because every once in a while I break out the Nigerian accent and girls are like, ooh, wait, hold up now.
But when you speak with a Nigerian accent, it's just when you're around family or when you're around people
from... So it's actually automatic for me. When I'm around family, when I'm around Nigerians. Matter of fact, I was with a few Nigerians a couple of nights ago. Yvonne Orji, who's, you know, one of the actresses out here in LA. She had a game night, and I didn't know what to expect. I went out there, and there was a bunch of Nigerians. All of a sudden, we all just, you know, we're like all cousins, and
right.
Why when we meet each other, we're all like family. So it was a good time, and then accent comes out. My first name actually is Ifeanyi.
Okay.
And after when I came to America, I would introduce myself, try to say it.
Ifeanyi? Exactly. That was pretty good.
So that was actually the best I've heard so far.
That was pretty good, because, but if I could do it 10 times, I probably won't get it right.
No, but you did way better than people. People started calling me Ifeanyi after a while. I can't really be a center, a tough guy with a name Ifeanyi. You would probably be fucking with me on the sidelines. So that was, you know, for me, I felt like Festus was a great...
But how you get from Ifeanyi...
That's my middle name.
Okay, the
Festus is my middle name. It's also my dad's name. So I felt like I felt some kind of it made me feel good to bear my father's name.
I got you.
And go by that. And it gave me a lot of responsibility.
And you could variations of Festus, Fess, you know, like
Fess, yeah. In Nigeria, Ifeanyi, people call me Anyi. So is
that a common name in Nigeria? Is it like Mark?
It is, yeah. So what it means. So every time you get a name in Nigeria, you don't just get a name because you get a name because it's cool.
Right.
You get a name based on it actually means something, right?
Okay.
So for me, it took my mom a few years to have me, and when she had me, my grandfather actually named me. My name is Ifeanyi. It means Ifeanyi Chukwu. Actually, it means with God, nothing is impossible.
Okay.
And that's been the story for my life, all my journey so far. Being able to overcome adversity is kind of my life story.
You're ready. You're used to it.
Yeah. So for me, like going through this is really just a part of the story.
With your rehab and your recovery, is making baskets, shooting baskets, the least of it? Is it like all like about like planting, jumping, knee, you know, being in shape? Like is touch, like, in basketball skills, even like a part of it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
is it a part of my rehab? Dude, the day the day after I have surgery, I'm in bed, right? And the first thing I have them do is buy me a basketball that I can just hold on to, right? Because I couldn't do anything. As soon as I was able to crutch, which is in about 2 weeks, I was out there. Matter of fact, there's videos on my Instagram if you guys want to go check it out at FezzyFell. You know, there was videos of me shooting on the box. This is a year ago. You can go back a year and see me. I'm on the box and I'm shooting. And I'm telling people, yo, listen, like, I don't care what it is I'm going through. This is where my mind is at.
Right.
You know, I got to figure out ways to get better. When I first had surgery, it was hard for me to watch basketball. Right. I'm not gonna lie. It was something that was very hard for me because it almost seemed like nobody cared.
Oh.
Right? The lights, this just goes on. The whole world goes on
You
without you.
mean in terms of like you're just sort of out of it?
Yeah, you're out of the circle. You're out of the fraternity. It's like everybody's just doing what they got to do right now to win. And it was hard for me to watch. But, you know, after a while, my mind switches again, which is like, yo, I got to get back. Like I got to get back to work. And so it was like, now let me watch and see. There's so many bigs that are doing their thing in the NBA. You know, I watched Joel Embiid last night with the game. Granted, they didn't win, and but his whole story about his comeback and his, being able to do what he's doing right now is amazing. He missed 3 years.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Came back, and it's amazing what he's doing. But I have this theory right now. I have a theory of great players, minus one person so far, but great players.
LeBron, right?
Yes. They always have this defining moment that has something to do with injury. They always have some injury that keeps them out. And I feel like during that moment, you really get to ask yourself that question, like, do I really want to fucking do this shit?
Right.
And the answer is, because they always come back and they're great and they're better, is I love this game. I love what I do. And I can't take it for granted. I'm going to do everything to be as best as I possibly can be because I can't take it for granted. I can't walk at this time, or I can't do this. So I appreciate every aspect of this. I think that's what it is for me right now, where I'm at.
I think that's dope, and it's crazy. I mean, I want to get into LeBron because obviously you played against him in two iconic series, and I mean, and watching him, you would thought like when you guys beat him, he was like at an apex, and then like now it's like I don't know what the apex. I don't know, like it keeps going. But I want to.
It's unreal. The dude is. I mean, he's unreal.
I want to come back to LeBron. I want to stay on you. You graduated high school when you were 14 years old.
I graduated high school at 14. Yes.
Now in Nigeria, is it just a different timetable, or were you smart? Like, is that
to
common?
be honest? What it is so 14 is early. It's very early. I was in a class with 16, 17, 18, 19
Okay, so you're
year-olds.
smart, even in Nigeria.
Well, I had a mom. I'm never gonna self-promote myself, right? I have a mother who was an educator, and she really pushed me. I didn't go to her. She owns a school. I didn't go to her school, but being that was my mom, she held me to a certain standard. She always told me like, "Yo, this is your meal ticket. You have to be able to read and be smart." And she told me that from a really young age.
Yeah, but we
all
tell our kids that, but then we don't.
But she pushed me. Is what it is. And if you know my mother, she always she empowers the people around her. But it started with us as kids.
Okay. And what does it take to graduate high school in 14? And then tell me how after graduating high school in 14, you got to America.
So I started school really early.
Okay.
I think I started the first grade. I can't remember what age at this point, but
Like first grade's normally like 6, right?
Yeah, no, I started way before that. I think that what also helped was I skipped the 5th and 6th grades. They said I was way advanced.
You double skipped, or you skipped 5th?
I double skipped. Yeah.
You went from 4th
to 7th.
Shit.
Yeah, that was something that they came to my mom and said, because my mom would always teach me. I would come home and I would be doing schoolwork at home.
I got you.
I would be as a little kid, I would be reading to my mom, reading the Bible actually.
Right.
But I would be doing all these things that older people were doing. My math classes, I was doing way more advanced things at home than I was in school. And so they came to my mom one day and said I was bored. Like I looked like I was bored in class because my grades were excellent. I got all the awards. But it just like this kid is bored because he's just, it takes him, he's the first one out of every exam, or things like that. So they thought it was a good idea for me to go. They tested me and saw that I was in Nigeria, we have 1st through 6th grades as primary school.
Got you.
And then we have high school starts in 7th grade.
Okay, that's what
junior
they consider
high,
it.
7, 8, 9 is junior high. Senior high is 9, 10, 10, 11, 12.
But that's a big skip. Like
Going to high school. You go from 4th grade to high school.
Just socially. I mean, you must have been
tall. That was the hardest part.
But you're still like a kid.
I'm a kid, and I'm with people like talking about sex. They're talking about girls,
right?
And I'm looking around like I don't know anything about any of that,
right?
And a shy little kid. I was kind of chubby, so I wasn't socially awkward in that regards. But I was good at school.
And then, so when you graduate high school at 14 years old, how do you wind up in America?
I came to America by mistake, actually. I didn't come here by mistake.
Like got on the wrong bus?
No, so we came here as a family to celebrate my graduation. We all came here
on a
in
trip.
2004 on a trip. So when I came here, it wasn't by mistake that we landed here, but it was by mistake that I stayed, right? Because they ended up, when I came here, my uncle, who I told you we came to visit family who were here.
And what part did you go to?
We were in the Sacramento area.
Okay.
So yeah, we came out here. Actually landed in San Francisco. So I don't know if this is foreshadowing or not, but we landed in San Francisco. Obviously, you guys know I played with the Golden State Warriors. We stayed with the family over there. Uncle saw me. Everywhere we went during this trip, everybody asked me if I played basketball.
And had you played ball?
I had never played basketball before in my life. I told you I was a chubby kid. I didn't know nothing about no sports. My dad actually used to get so mad because we had athletics back in Nigeria. We would have these events, and he would come just hoping that I would be doing something. I would be on the sidelines, and it was something that always kind of, because my dad was a super athlete. Like, he did everything.
Is he tall?
He's about 6'4", 6'5".
Okay.
And he just wanted those genes used. And so it was hard for him, being a part, but, for him, it was just more about, like, I want to see my kid do something, I had man boobs, a little kid.
And how tall are you?
At that point, I was 14 years old and I was 6'5".
Okay.
So I was a really tall kid. Like,
right.
You see pictures from me.
And you're not like a tall,
class.
skinny kid.
No, not at all. And so when I came to America, my uncle saw me and he thought, let's try. You know how he convinced me, actually? It's time to go to college, right? So I said at this point, I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
And I said, I don't want to play basketball. I just want to be a doctor. So he said, listen, you know what basketball can do for you? It can give you a scholarship. You don't have to pay a dime and you go to college for free. So that's why I started playing basketball. It's because he said I can go to college and I can get a scholarship, and that's my story. That's how it started.
That's crazy. And then
it only gets worse. It only gets crazier.
So give it to me.
So
You're 14, you never played.
Never played.
People over here, they start playing basketball.
Yo.
And sports in general. So there's a certain amount of. Did you play soccer? Anything?
We played soccer, but soccer was more of like a social thing. Me and my friends would be out. We'd be waiting for our rides to come pick us up after school. So we would just be outside playing. All you needed
And you
is
just
a little
weren't
ball.
into it.
It's not. Sports wasn't my thing. I
got you.
just like to be with my friends. I played video games, but it wasn't. Sports wasn't my thing. Until I came here and I started playing basketball. But the way it all started and the way it kind of like it's a whole long story. We don't have all the time on this podcast, but my first basket was against my own team.
What do you mean?
So, matter of fact, this part of the story is actually important. So I tried. So what he convinced me to do, I was 14 years old. So he made me go back to high school and redo my senior year. The thought process was, if I go back to high school, I can start learning with my people my age instead of going to college. It's not even possible how can you get a scholarship and just go to college?
Right.
So the plan was, I would go to Jesuit High School, which is a Catholic school in Sacramento, and I would play basketball there. I played there for a couple of years. They would teach me how to play, and somehow, because this school was good at basketball.
Okay.
So he was like, this is where you need to go. This is the plan. It's all foolproof. We got this down, right? I get to the school. I'm going to school there. I'm taking these classes, and then I get cut from the team.
At 6'8"?
I wasn't good. Like, you don't understand. Like, the scouting report for me, or the way they talked about me, is he cannot chew gum and walk at the same time.
Right.
And so it was very, very awkward. I wasn't coordinated at all. Hand-eye coordination was literally zero. If you want to go on 2K, it was zero. And people don't understand what it is to go from that to the NBA 5 years later.
That's fucking nuts.
They don't understand, but it's not just a great story in terms of, wow, this is amazing. It's like, there's a lot of sweat equity. There's a lot of tears and blood and everything that you leave on that court, on the track, and like all these things that I had to do to get there. And who actually helped me out was there was a random just stranger. He walks up to me one day after school. His son was going to be on the team, and this guy walks up to me and he says, he's talking with the coach of the team, the high school team at the time. So he goes up to the coach. wow, like, because he sees me, a big black kid. Obviously, I can play basketball because I'm big and black. So he sees me. He's like, wow, you guys are going to be really good this year. The coach is like, yeah, but, he said, why you say that? It's a big kid y'all got. He said, yeah, not because of him. He's not any good. He's like, what are you talking about? Asking the coach. Coach is like, he can't play. He can't play. He just came from Nigeria. What's wrong with him? Can he run? The guy's like, yeah. Can he jump? The guy's like, yeah. So what's the problem? He's no good. Can I have him? Which is a weird thing to say because he tells me this story all the time. And he actually is somebody who has become a really good friend. So he comes up to me at the time and he tells me, and I don't know what AAU is at the time. So he comes up to me and says, AAU, I want you to play on my team. Are you interested in playing basketball? I said, I don't know. We'll see. So he says, AAU, you travel with me. We all sleep in the same hotel. See how this sounds to a 14-year-old kid? I'm like, yo, my mom warned me about motherfuckers like you.
Right. That sounds crazy.
And when I went home, and at the time my parents are still in Nigeria, so I called him and said, hey, I met this guy. He says that he can really help me in terms of basketball if I play AAU with him, and we got to travel and we stay in the same hotel room. My mom hung up the phone.
That's funny.
What are you talking about? And, we got to, explore a little further. But, playing on his AAU team, it took me to a whole, this is a whole new world for me. I had, teammates. I had all these things I had never had before. This is new, especially being in America. At this point, I'm new here. I don't really have any friends. I don't know anybody. I'm commuting an hour and a half every day each way to go to school. Everything about this journey has been crazy. And so now I'm with this team and I'm hanging out with with these kids my age. So we're traveling and doing this stuff. Like I said, my first basket during this time was against my own team.
You put it in the wrong basket.
I didn't know you switch halves you switch sides of the half. So I got a defensive rebound and put it right back in. And everybody's looking like, what the fuck is going on?
Like you didn't know what's going on.
Yeah, because I got the rebound.
Did you dunk it at least?
Nah, I couldn't dunk at the time.
Man.
Yo, so I got the rebound and my teammates are running out for the outlet. I take it and I put it right back in. And they were looking at me like, yo,
and what are you doing? What are you doing? What
the fuck are you doing? This is a tight game. We're trying to win this game.
Right.
But I didn't really care. I was happy. I'm gonna go lie to you. I was happy. That was my first basket. I don't care what y'all talking about. This is my first. This is it for me.
Which made it insult to injury. You're running up the court. They're like,
oh man, they're cussing me out. I'm smiling. I don't know what the heck is going on, but I'm smiling.
At that age, when you're still learning, what was the first thing about basketball, the game of basketball, the skill that clicked with you that you remember going, I could do this. Was it dribbling? Was it a jump hook? Was it a drop step? What was the first?
I learned how to dunk. We were in the gym working for a long time. This is for hours, and we were trying to teach me how to dunk. And at that time, I can only dunk with one hand. And this is after a gather step, I had to run up and lift, And I worked on it for so long, and when I could finally do it, I kept doing it over and over. And that's just the first step. Just I had a taste of success.
I got you.
For me, and I think that kind of drew me in a little bit.
I got you.
The first dunk in a game, oh my God, I still remember it too. It was a two-handed dunk. This is after I've been working. One of the times I got an offensive rebound and I'm under the basket and I just hear somebody yell, dunk it, dunk it. I don't even know what came over me. And I just rose up. I'm right underneath the basket. I literally have to reach behind my head to dunk this ball, but I'm dunking in a crowd of people. That was the first time I realized one thing. How strong I was and how athletic I was.
Okay.
And so it kind of started this chain of, man, maybe I can do something with this. It kind of lit that little flame in my head of okay, let me try. Granted, I was still very raw.
Right.
I was very, very raw. And I played 2 summers like this. This story gets crazier. So I played the first summer. After this, I'm done with the high school because I don't want to go there anymore. I already have my diploma from high school. I only went back so I can play basketball.
Right.
Couldn't play anymore. So
how old are you now?
I am, at this time, I'm 15. Turned 16 in the fall. When I turn 16, I go to a junior college.
At 16?
Yeah. Because
that's crazy.
Because remember, I was still trying to be a doctor. but I couldn't play basketball is what they told me. So my whole thing was, I can go back to school. I can go, get a scholarship, academic scholarship. So
That's
I wanted
crazy
to start
though.
off.
Like you're 16, you're 6'8".
Yeah.
You're from Nigeria. Like there's so many wild different things you're dealing with. You stand out because you're tall, but you're not really a great basketball player.
Not even
and then
the
you're,
slightest.
And even if you're just a regular size 16-year-old, and that's always weird, like some Doogie Howser shit, like where you're around adults, 18, 19, 20-year-old people in the junior
you're
college.
around old people. There's 40-year-old,
Oh, right,
30-year-old
junior college,
classmates.
everybody's in that
everybody's
shit.
there. And it was weird because I'll be in chemistry class and I would have older people. Like I was actually a tutor. That's how I got a little bit of money. Is I was a tutor in the school, so I was tutoring math and biology. I almost did chemistry, but it was too much load with my. So I was tutoring while I was going to school, and I'm walking around school one day. I guess the coach, the basketball coach at the team there at Yuba College, had heard about me. So he, somehow tracks me down, sees me like, yo, what's going? Like, where'd you come from? Who are you? And I tell him a little bit of my story. I got to go to class, bro. So he convinced me to come to the gym and talk to him. So I come back to the gym and we talk a little bit. This dude was, his name is Doug Cornelius. He's still a really good friend of mine until today. And he's the coach there still. And he convinced me to try taking basketball classes. Basketball class is a thing at Yuba College. Yuba Community College is where I went to school. And basketball was a thing. And so
Yoga, like it's like a workout.
They have yoga as well.
But I'm saying
it's
basketball classes.
You get one credit for it.
It's like a workout.
Yeah. You actually learn how to play. You actually play pickup.
I got you.
And so this was my first kind of, interaction with him and his team. And as I started to do it and learn more, and he actually took a lot of, he was teaching me. And I started liking the team and liking him, especially because he was my guy. Like he was like taking me through all this. He wanted me to play on his team eventually. All right. So his plan was, you gray shirt with us for a couple of years. I can get you a college scholarship. Just play with me. All right. Play with my school, play with my team, play with us, and we'll get you a college scholarship. So he convinced me to gray shirt. I don't know if you guys understand that, but gray shirting is, going under 12 units.
Yeah, I never heard of gray shirting.
There's red shirting, there's gray shirting. Red shirting is you are a full-time student, you're just not playing.
Right.
Gray shirting is
I never heard that shit.
You're a part-time student. The clock doesn't start for you. When you're red shirting, you have 4 years to play. You have 5 years to play 4.
I got you.
In college. But if you gray shirt, then that clock doesn't start. You just go part-time, which is under 12 units. It's a whole scheme, which he explained to me. And so that was a tough decision for me because I wanted to go be a doctor. And I felt like
so you're slowing down your education.
I'm slowing down that. So that's why I had to go home and tell my parents.
You're sort of hedging like, yo, I'm going to see if...
Let me try and see if this works out. And so when I talked to my parents about this, talked to my uncle is a doctor himself at this point. I don't know if I said that.
And he's in here, United States.
He's here. That's who I was living with.
I got you.
So when I told him about this whole thing, he was like, he had already given up the dream. So he was like, yo, why are you wasting my time? Or why are you wasting, we don't want to pay for school if you're going to be going part-time. Go get a job then. So that was a whole deal, and that was a whole ordeal. But, he eventually came around. How it actually happened is I was a part of the team, but I was the videographer. For the team. Like I told you this story, I keep saying this story is crazy and people don't believe it. And I don't even believe it sometimes when I talk about it. The way for me to travel with this basketball team at Yuba College was to be the videographer. And so we would travel to games and I would be this big black dude come off the bus and people were like, holy shit, we were in for it tonight. And then I'll bring out my camera bag.
Cameras, this guy's got lenses
what is
and
going
shit.
on? Yeah. And
that's funny.
That was my journey, man. That was my story. And the next summer, I was at home. I didn't really have much going on. Mind you, I'm 16 this whole time.
Right.
So I'm still young. I go back and play with that same guy from the summer before.
The AAU
play
team.
AAU again. This time I'm better, right? Because I've been taking those basketball classes.
Right. That's crazy basketball classes.
So when I come back, first of all, my body's different now. I'm a little skinnier because I've been running these sprints. I've been doing all these things with guys. I've been playing pickup. I'm still very raw, but now I'm athletic.
Okay.
I know how to block shots. That's some of that. I don't know when that came about, but it seems like it's always been innate in me, knowing how to block shots.
Okay.
And so when I come back that summer, my team and I, we go to the Sweet 16 of, the big time tournaments in Vegas. I don't know if you know about those.
Yeah.
And they still have that?
Yeah, AAU, it's not,
Yeah, but now it's like everybody.
It's crazy.
AAU is crazy. It's a whole scheme now. But at the time, like we had the big time that was the tournament to go to. Everybody from all over the country came there. It was like 300 teams, and we went to the Sweet 16. My team and I, we had a lot of cats from Sacramento. My AAU team was called the NorCal Pharaohs.
Okay.
So obviously with a name like that, nobody takes us seriously.
Right.
The NorCal Pharaohs. But we came in and we actually we had a mashup with our team and Play Hard, Play Smart, which had some other guys from Sacramento who were some killers. So our teams together, I mean, me and the other big kid on my team, he was Terrence Jennings. He went to Louisville.
Okay.
All you had to do was throw the ball up and somebody's dunking it.
Right.
Me, him, the guard,
Right.
Everybody's dunking. And so my team was actually really good. And so going through that whole process and people coming to see them, the other guys on my team who were prospects, people saw me like, yo, who is that kid? And I get invited to the top 150 camp in Philly or New Jersey. I can't remember, one of those. And I looked at the letter. I was like, me want top 150 kids? That's crazy, right? And when I go to the camp, I almost felt like I was Bigfoot. Like people were like taking pictures of me, like, "Yo, who is this kid? Where you?" People
because they hadn't been following you.
They didn't know where I came. I literally just came on the scene because remember I was at junior college. I
Right.
didn't play basketball. So
Who were the players? Who were the other players there? Like, who were the best players at that camp?
Like Aaron Gordon's brother, Drew Gordon, was like one of the top dudes at that camp. We had Isaiah Thomas was on my team, so we had like all-star team, which I made at the end.
Little Isaiah.
Isaiah,
He looks like he's 15 now.
He was just a killer. Like he could just score, man. He was doing this since he probably came out the womb scoring. Isaiah was doing the same thing. Brandon Jennings, Renardo Sidney. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many kids. I don't remember everybody at this point, but it was all the top kids, and we're all going at it. And I'm just happy to be here because I always had a little competitive edge. I always liked Quincy Acey's actually, that was my first. So during the All-Star game, I was dunked on for the first time in my career. I tried to help off of the weak side. I saw Quincy. I was like, I've always been the most athletic guy.
Right.
And so I tried to jump with Quincy Acey at the time, and he dunked on me so crazy with two hands. It was probably the craziest. So after I went through that feeling, I was like, yo, I don't want to experience this thing again. This sucks. It's embarrassing.
I got
and
you.
It's my first time being dunked on. So
but you must have learned so much because now you're playing with dudes that are more athletic, just as big as you, competitive. They grew up like this is their life, their blood, like this is their whole thing. So did it awaken something in you? Like, yo, I really I want to do this shit.
That's exactly what it was. Coming through that camp, knowing where I came from, they don't know who I am, but knowing where I came from and getting to this point, all it did was fuel that fire of wanting to do more. Like, look at all these dudes, look at what they're doing. I want to do more, So, but when I came from that camp, I got a bunch of scholarships. That was my first time. I think the year before I had played AAU, people saw me. I had 2 scholarships, one to UNLV and one to Oregon State. I left that camp with about 40 some scholarships
from all over the place.
I could have gone anywhere in the country, to be honest. And they
knew you were a good student.
That was
so you're getting
plus.
Recruited by Harvard, Princeton, the whole deal?
Yeah, so Harvard is actually one of the college visits I took. And for a Nigerian, for a Nigerian family, my mom still has that letter printed till today.
Did she want you to go to Harvard?
That was the conversation that we had to have as a family. You would have thought somebody died. Like I literally had to sit down with my family and say, hey, listen, I can't go to Harvard. I don't think that fits my vision or what I want to do. I love the school. It's such an amazing honor that I was able to get accepted, but it's not something that I want to do. I want to actually.
So you got accepted. You got a scholarship offer. Your grades are good. Like the whole like this.
It's incredible.
But you knew as a basketball player, that wouldn't answer it.
I've always been very in tune with my energy. Like I always known, like if I walk into a room, I can always feel like I don't feel good here. right? I think that was.
How do you feel in here right now doing the podcast?
I feel, man, the tall doors here, tall doors here at the house. This is nice, man. This is good living.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So you chose Vanderbilt.
I chose Vanderbilt,
which is a good school, right?
It's a top at the. Well, it still is. It's a top 20 school.
Okay.
In the country.
And they have a basketball program.
And at the time, it was an up-and-coming basketball program.
Right.
The year before I got there, they just went to the Sweet 16.
Right.
And so meeting with the coach, meeting with the players, I think I went to a lot of schools. One of the things that was a stipulation that I wanted to happen, one of the things that I said to every coach is like, hey, like I want to redshirt. That was the thing I told everybody. Because at this time right now, I'm 17. Right? So I'm 17 years old, and I felt like I wanted to redshirt. I wanted to learn. I've never been on a team. I never played organized basketball before. I don't know what that's like. I feel like I need a year to adjust to school.
And this is just in your head, like you knew that you needed
like
to...
I felt like I needed more time. And people didn't understand what I was talking. Like, you don't choose to redshirt. If we think that you should redshirt, that's what we choose to redshirt you.
Or you have an injury, or you transfer, or whatever.
But I was like, no, like I feel like this is what I need to do. And they said a lot of coaches weren't happy with that. They were like,
they want you to play, get out here.
Like, we need you right now. Like, we could. But I was like, yo, I know, like, but I'm very raw. Like, I know that this time would really help me, which ended up being the case because I really needed that extra time. And so when I got to Vandy and I took my visit there, it's just like it was a different feel. I know the coach, I felt his energy and his passion towards the game. Mm-hmm. And he told me from the start, he said, listen, you're a project. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, your game needs a lot of work, but I'm going to work with you. I'm not going to recruit over you. You're going to be my guy. Right now we have a starting center, but you're going to be my guy. I'm not recruiting anybody else to come over you. Right. And having that conversation with him and meeting my teammates, and it was dope because a couple other visits I went on a visit to a school where the other center, I dunked on the center and he tried to fight me. This is during the game. So like, I went on some visits with guys that like they didn't really rock with me,
right?
Just because they felt like I was coming to take their spot.
Right.
But when I went to Vandy, they were like, "Yo, we need like your athleticism, what you bring. Like we feel like it'll be good for us."
Right.
And so that coupled with the school, I went to school in Nashville, which was a whole different vibe from what I was used to. So I was like, man, this is really like I like this. But the school I really wanted to go to was Stanford. That was my dream school. I wanted to go to Stanford, and it's not like I picked coming from Sacramento, I wanted to go to Stanford. That's how I envisioned everything. I was like, yo, I'm going here. It's great school, great basketball program, and now I'm going to become a doctor. So see how my mind is...
You're not even thinking playing the NBA.
How? How can I think about playing the NBA? I just started playing basketball. I don't even think it's a possibility. So when I think that, you know, that was one of the schools, and they had the two bigs in the Lopez twins.
Oh, right.
And so they didn't need me. But everybody else is calling me. So it was like this crazy conflict in my head. Like, they want me, but you don't want me. That's crazy. You. One of the reasons why I didn't want to go to school in California. Like, I was like, nah, forget that. I'm going to go somewhere else, and I'm going to go do what I need to do.
Right.
And so, like, the SCs, the UCLAs, the Cal Berkeleys, they were great schools, but I was like, nah, I want to go somewhere else. And so I didn't know what to expect going to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was actually one of the first schools I crossed off my list. I didn't know what it was. I was like, Vanderbilt what?
Right.
I thought it was a junior college. I was like, I'm not going to another junior college.
Right.
But when I went there, I was so blown away by, first of all, the city and the culture, right? Country music, it wasn't really my thing because my parents actually listened to a lot of country music. And I hated it.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to hear this shit anymore. Right. But when I got there, it was just cool people. Southern hospitality is a real thing, man. They really, really took care of me, and it was like I enjoyed my time. So, you know, when it came down to it, I chose Vanderbilt. I thought that would be the place to go, and it felt like there was something calling me there.
And did you stay 4 years?
I graduated, yeah.
So you redshirted the first year?
So I actually stayed 5 because I redshirted the first year.
Right.
So I redshirted my first year, and I played 4 years. First 2 years, I barely played.
Right.
I was coming off the bench, 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes the next year. The guy in front of me is an Australian player, which is funny because I also played with an Australian player when I got to the league.
Right.
But in Bogut. But AJ Ogilvy, big guy, 7-footer, I mean, skilled, very skilled. It was supposed to be lottery his freshman year. He had some injury issues at the time, so he decided to leave and go back to Australia. When he leaves, the coach kind of hands me the keys to the car. And at the time, it was there was another center who was another backup as well. His name was Steve Changang, who's actually one of my best friends now. And the difference between me and Steve starting center spot the next year, our junior year, was a flip of a coin. He said, you guys have been killing it all practice, all preseason. Like, I don't know what to do. So you guys are going to actually switch back and forth.
Game to game.
Game to game. I start, he starts.
Right.
But as after like 3 games, there was just something about, my defensive presence in the paint that just, that took our team to another level. And he was like, hey, you know what? Kind of like Dwayne Wade did with LeBron. Like, hey, man, we both need each other. I will be the backup for the team. And seeing somebody like that, because initially we didn't like each other. So we were really like, but for him to that's the type of person, like, I like to surround myself with people like that because you see the big picture. For us to win, like, we need each other. Got you. And so he gave me, that starting position. That's when I became an NBA prospect that year, was because I came in before that summer. I've never put in work like that, like I have in my whole life, because my coach told me, hey, this is going to be your year. And I went home, I did everything. Like, if you talk about working out, I don't think there's any workout that you can look at out there, whether it's running on the dunes, whether it's boxing, whether it's yoga.
You were doing everything.
Running out night, whatever. Like, I'm doing everything. And my body feels like crap, but like I'm ready to go the next year. And I come in my junior year and I became an NBA prospect. That's kind of how the whole thing started. So when I talk about adversity, I've seen a lot of it. And this next phase was my biggest. That was another adversity I hit. So after my junior year, I had the chance to come to the NBA. I was going to be a lottery pick.
And what year was this?
This is 2011.
Okay.
And I had a conversation with my mom. And I think 2011 was also the lockout year.
Yes.
2011?
Yeah.
So that coupled with the fact my mom and my parents, actually, there was no way I was leaving college early. I wasn't going to leave. Halfway through, I also missed to say, I also missed saying that after 2 years, I decided that basketball was going well. So I switched from pre-med because I couldn't dedicate all my time to both. I switched from pre-med and I chose another professional degree, which is economics. I just couldn't do both anymore. So at this time now, I'm invested. Like, I want to do this. But my parents felt like I needed my degree. Right. And I didn't really argue with them because I actually loved college. I had a good time in college. So the next year, my senior year, I get hurt. Before, in the preseason, I land it's in practice, somebody undercuts me. And I tear my MCL, my PCL, and my knee. Shit. Holy fuck. Like, this is real. Right. This is like the thing you hear about in movies, like you come back and you get hurt. My coach was so distraught because he was one of the people that told me I should come back. So he was like, he didn't even know how to act. And one of the first, I just laid there. I was like screaming, like pain, all this crazy stuff. And later on that night, I'm sitting there and I'm like, same thing. Like, I'm tears running down my eyes. I just started laughing. I was like, it was like a movie to me. I felt like something changed in my mind that night. It was just like, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. So what am I going to do about it? And from that point, that night, I had my knee fixed. Or I was supposed to be out for. No, I didn't have it fixed. Actually, I had a choice to do the surgery or to leave it and it kind of heals on its own. If you keep it for 6 weeks locked up. I played in a game 6 weeks later. With my knee bandaged up, like I couldn't even bend my knee. That's how much it was bandaged up. But I was like, yo, like I watched my team. Like, I've always been a team first guy. Right. And my team struggled a little bit. And I was just like, you know what, get me out there. Right. And I don't know if it was a smart decision or not. It's just, that's kind of the thing that's in me. Like, I want to be out there. I'm a competitive dude and I will be out there on the court with my knee like that. I actually played against Steph's school. It was right after he left. And I had I might have had like 17 and 9 with not being able to jump. Like I couldn't dunk.
And you didn't get the surgery.
No, I didn't. And one of the most precious things about that process for me was that right after I had that surgery, up until I didn't play, I didn't practice, I was there with my team every day. One of the most amazing accomplishments that I had was that I got voted by my team unanimously to be the team captain. My attitude through that whole process, I don't even know where I got the strength, to be honest, because I just felt like they needed me. I was going to be there. I've always been the team first guy. And so going from that and then, playing with my team, we played that whole year out. We were SEC. The first time we won the SEC championship that year, we actually beat Anthony Davis and the Kentucky Wildcats. We beat them that year in the SEC championship.
Right.
And that year was so amazing and everything but it came from that moment. Like, let's go back and rewind to the start of the season when I had that injury. I really was like, I could have just quit.
I got you.
And I take all these experiences. I was drafted by the Golden State Warriors.
5 picks before Draymond Green.
Yeah.
So when you when you go through the process, you go through the draft camps and all stuff, then you get drafted. You've been playing basketball 5 years.
It was insane. At that point, I've been playing for 5 years. I've been playing organized basketball for 5 years. So I just get drafted. I mean, Coach Kerr calls Draymond a future Hall of Famer. So think about that. But to me, it was just like I just couldn't believe where I was at, or how I got there. I worked hard so I can do all that, but when I got drafted and they called my name,
and that's fast.
Insane. It's insane.
And was David Stern or was it
David Stern?
So it's like the last, almost like the end.
Pick. Yeah.
So you get
Matter
drafted.
of fact, that was his last.
Yeah.
So I was the last time he called a name.
That was the last regime.
Wow.
And
I never thought about that.
Yeah, and now you got my man Adam Silver.
That's incredible.
That's crazy. That's historic.
Wow.
So you get drafted by Golden State Warriors. You get drafted ahead of Draymond Green. How often does Draymond Green remind you got drafted before me? Like what is it?
To be honest, we never. To be honest, like Draymond is one of the best teammates I ever had.
What is he like? He's such a sort of controversial figure. Like you either love him or hate him. I love him.
I fucking love Draymond. Like that's probably one of the best teammates I ever had, just because his passion for the game, like his passion for life. Like dude he's on 10 all the time.
Right.
Me and Draymond got into it a lot while we were there, but it was always love. Like it was like when we were on the court, like all that he talks a lot, even in practice. It's even worse in practice. People see it on the court like, oh man, this is this is him all the time on the court. And match my own energy, which is like, yo, when it's time to go and we're being competitive, like we're about to fight. Like, it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I think that's, being a person like that, being someone who will do anything. I think that's the biggest thing I love about him. He will do anything to help. If you're on his side, Draymond rides with you. Like 100%. That's all it is. And he makes that team go. He makes everybody get better. He's not afraid to call you out. But that was why that team worked so well, is because there was no egos, right? There's egos to be better. Like obviously Steph is, the Houston Rockets Golden State series about to start, right? Obviously Steph is going against Chris Paul like, yo, I'm coming for you. Klay is going for James Harden like, yo, I'm coming. There's egos in that regards, but there's no egos when you're coming to your team.
I got you.
We all have to work together. So having a guy like Draymond on that team works very well because he's not afraid to call you out and tell you, yo, you're not trying hard today.
When you finally make it to the NBA and you're a Golden State Warrior, and I say to you, what's your first memory of playing in an NBA game? And, you're still learning about the game. You're still learning about the history of the NBA. What is your first memory of being on the court? Like, oh shit, I'm out here.
My first memory, man, was preseason. Actually, we were playing in Ontario. My first game, NBA game, was against the Lakers, and this is the Lakers team with Kobe, Dwight Howard, Pau Gasol, Steve Nash. And I'm talking about people that I've been watching. I mean, my short career, but I've been watching these guys. I know Kobe. Matter of fact, I've known Kobe since I was in Nigeria. I didn't know much about it, but I've heard his name on video games many times Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. Like, I heard these names growing up. And so, matter of fact, when Kobe retired, I wrote a little excerpt that it was called "Before I Knew the Game, I Knew Your Name." Because back then I would hear people shoot paper in the trash can and say Kobe, but I didn't know who he was. I come to learn about basketball, and then he inspires me to be a better player because of how much he puts into everything. Matter of fact, he's dealt with a couple of injuries as well.
Right.
He came back and was a killer.
Right.
So my first game was against the Lakers, and I'm walking to the center circle. I'm starting. I walk to the center circle, and I'm dapping up Kobe Bryant. Like, my fist touched his fist, and I felt like I had to play it cool, but I'm a rookie, and I just got to the NBA. So I'm dapping up this future Hall of Famer, best player in the planet. Like, this is crazy to me.
Were you tripping out?
Man, dude, I'm in the game. I'm almost like about to call a ball boy. Yo, get my phone. Let's take this picture before the game. You know what I mean? And that game started off, and it was so, like, I was still so much in awe. Like, I didn't even know how to, like, I think I forgot how to play basketball for the first 5 minutes of the game. Because, like, Dwight Howard caught the ball in the post. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm guarding Dwight Howard. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
I think that those kind of memories, I really cherish those memories because it's a lot. It's a lot to go from being in awe of these guys to being a competitor against these guys.
How do you flip that switch where
competition? Like, it's
at a certain point, there's no more fandom. It's like, yo, we're out here. At a certain point,
it's like, you were trying to beat me. Like, I'm not, if I'm over here messing around, like, I'm going to lose. I hate losing. That's another thing about me. Another thing that really pushes me to be better. I hate losing.
Who were the in your first year? Obviously, you're playing with Draymond. We all know.
I'm playing with Steph. I'm playing with Klay. I'm playing with Draymond. I'm playing with David Lee. I'm playing with Bogut. I'm playing. Harrison Barnes.
Right. This is the crew.
My class is Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, Kent Bazemore.
Right.
And so we all on the same Golden State Warriors team in 2012.
But when you get in league, especially the early years, who were the biggest trash talkers? Who were the dudes that, like, you were like, yo?
KG was in the league. KG would come at you crazy. I just remember the people I was guarding.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, shoot. Dwight Howard would just be smiling all the time and laughing. That shit used to annoy the crap out of me. Because he would be busting my tail and just smiling the whole time. The biggest smack talkers, Kobe could talk too. Watch out, young fella. Oh, no, don't jump. Man, I can't. To be honest, man, like, I know Kenya Martin was another person. Like,
right.
He was with the Knicks at the time. So they just had to go from there, right? To go from fandom and the guy who was admiring these Lakers teams. And I remember before that season started, they had already given the Lakers the championship that year. Before the season started. Dwight Howard, Kobe, Steve Nash on the same team.
Right.
That's a done deal.
Right.
Everybody's playing for second
place.
place.
But that just didn't work.
Going from that to us now being the hunted and being the team that won 73 games that broke the record in history. Like, people don't understand that it takes a lot of work, man.
Tell me about, like, that team and that season, and obviously losing to LeBron. And listen, I'm a Knicks fan, but I am a Golden State Warriors adopted redheaded child fan since World Be Free, since Chris Mullin, the Run TMC. Like, I was like, yo, like, as much as I respect LeBron, I wanted you guys to kick their fucking ass. So, but before that, 2015.
So
you win it.
So yeah, we get there. The year before we get there as a class, Steph was dealing with injuries. The team wins 15 games. Out of 82, they win 15 games, so we're in the lottery. So Harrison, me, Draymond, Kent Bazemore. Then we get Bogut. And so this team now is like a brand new team. Nobody knows who we are. Mark Jackson's the coach at the time. That's probably I still don't understand how he doesn't have a job. At the time, he comes out and he proclaims to everybody, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, best shooters in the world. Everybody. I'm pretty sure you thought he was crazy when he said that.
Where he said the best backcourt.
He said the best backcourt in the history of the game.
Right. Yeah, it was like, yo, this is nuts.
What are you talking about? We talking about Michael Jordan. We talking about it. But everybody now, is this so crazy now?
No.
And so that was the type of person he was. He was a visionary.
Mark.
Like for us, Mark Jackson was a visionary for our team. And so he told us our rookie year, I've never been around this much talent on one team. We're so young, but we have everything we need to win a championship. We thought we were going to win a championship my rookie year. So we came in 2012, 2013. We thought we were going to win an NBA championship. We came through. We got to the playoffs. Second time making the playoffs in 20 years. We get to the playoffs, and we're facing the Denver Nuggets in the first round. Nobody picked us. I had the picture. We all posted it up on the board of all the different analysts and everybody who's supposed to be smart in basketball that picked the Denver Nuggets to beat us. The Denver Nuggets at the time had the record for home court. Like they broke a record that year for home court wins, and we were going against them in high altitude Denver.
Right.
First two games, I remember as a rookie, my first two playoff games, they said the playoff atmosphere is crazy. You don't even know what to expect. It's so crazy. We get to Denver, and the atmosphere was, it was cool. It was, none more than anything any high-powered game we played in Oakland. Game 3, we played at home in Oakland. I have never heard an arena that loud in my whole career.
That game is
one game in my whole life.
Even more than the finals.
My whole life. That game, because it was the first time we had, and granted, like you have to remember, like tickets started getting expensive each year.
That was like the beginning of it.
That was like the core. That was like the fans who have been there for 20 years starving for something. And they came out I couldn't hear shit on the court. Like, dude, the energy was, after I got done with that game, after we got done, we beat them. That was the first time Steph shot the ball and turned around and smacked somebody. Like, I'd never seen Steph play like that. He turned superhuman. Well, actually, I had seen him play like that a couple times. He played like that in New York, actually, when he had 55. But there was the first time the world had seen him.
Right.
And so that team, we had the belief in ourselves. We got injured as the year went on. People got injured. I got hurt. Boga got hurt.
Right.
You know, Harrison had so a bunch of people. So the team got depleted. Andre Iguodala comes in the next year. We go to 7 games with the Clippers in the finals. In the first round.
Right.
And that year I was hurt.
Right.
I missed that whole season. The following year, my third year, is 14-15. And we come into that season with everybody intact.
Right.
And that was the season that we go on, and we didn't know what to expect. That was Coach Kerr's first year.
Right.
So we didn't know what to expect.
Is that the 73 wins?
No,
that was the next year.
Yeah, that was the next year. And so that year was when, we had, Steph coming in his own. I think, was that the year after Steph signed? I can't remember, but
no.
Yeah, so everybody was ready. Like, we were just primed and ready to play some ball. And we went through that year. We got to the playoffs, and everybody was healthy. First time we had that happen. And I think New Orleans was the first time you got to really, really see Steph be Steph.
Right.
And then from there, it was just like, to me, it's all a blur after that.
The Russell Westbrook, KD, Oklahoma City Thunder, and then the finals versus LeBron, who's...
That wasn't that year, though.
That was the next year.
You're talking about the next year. This is the year we won the championship. Was
yes.
The year we go through New Orleans, we go through Memphis, we go to Houston.
Right.
And then we go to the Cavs.
And playing against the Cavs and LeBron and that team, what I mean, he was so good in that.
That was the series where he had lost Kyrie and Kevin Love, and I've never seen a human being do what he did in that series. Like, you pretty much have this one guy where you have everybody trying to stop him. We literally are switching 4 different guys on him: Draymond, Harrison, Andre. Everybody go guard this guy, and let's try to get him tired. And it didn't. He was averaging 40, 15, 10. Like, it was the craziest And when we won, and before the final game 6 of that series, we had a team meeting. We were up 3-2 or 3-1 at the time or something like that. And we're about to
3-1.
win. And we're about to win game 6. We had a conversation in the locker room like, yo, listen, like, this is it. Andre said, I have nothing left to give y'all. This is it. I'm giving y'all everything this game. And that was where he won the Finals MVP.
Right.
He started that last game, but
he won Finals MVP for basically keeping LeBron in
that's what it is though. Like that's what the Finals MVP at this point now. The Finals MVP goes to the person who stops LeBron, Kawhi.
Right.
Like that's what it is because it's such a task. The dude is an amazing guy.
What is it like being on the court with him and he's cooking like that? I mean, and like I would say in his prime, but he might be in his prime right now. Like, I don't know how he could have...
I don't know. That's 15 years of, taking care of your body, 15 years of, keeping your mind sharp and studying the game and understanding and just getting better in that regards. But physically, what he's able to do and play the amount of minutes that he's able to play, I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, I don't get it. But I don't understand why the conversation of him versus Michael Jordan cannot be had. We started having that conversation 8 years ago.
Right.
And people were saying, well, LeBron versus MJ, well, he's not there yet. 8 years later, the things that he's been able to accomplish, I still don't understand why you can't have that conversation.
Right.
He's not going to have the same career as MJ. I'm sorry. It's not going to be the exact same.
No.
But if you look at the body of work, if you look at the load that he's asked to carry on a daily night.
And to keep doing it.
I mean, people start having arguments. Like I listen to all these arguments, and it's almost like a cult to me. That's how I feel about the Michael Jordan LeBron conversation because it's not even about like I think it becomes like blasphemous after a while. It's like no, you can't say that because that's the. But I'm just talking about look at our generation, what he's able to do. 8 finals in a row. Like I went to 2 finals in a row, and like I mean. My body is crazy, like just how I felt after that. So what he's able to do on a nightly basis and still keep getting better, it's still in the MVP conversation at year 15. He's
the MVP
amazing.
this year.
That's amazing.
He's
he
the
can
MVP
win it every year.
Okay, so specifically, I want to go to the 2 series that they pushed me. I'm not even from Golden State. I just wanted you guys to win. The Oklahoma City 3, you guys are down 3-1. That's the series that Klay hits the 27 or 26 in one quarter, and then you guys are up 3-1. And this is, I'm sure, like this still must give you like
we were down 3-1, and we after winning 73 games, like at the end of the year, there it was a struggle.
Did you feel like the engine was like slowing down? Like, did you feel like shit?
Okay, so the Thunder was so good. Like they were, when we got in the league. Matter of fact, when I was in college watching the NBA, they were what the Warriors are now, which is the run and gun. But they have Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant is their Steph Curry, but he's 6'11".
Right, he's nasty.
So talk about not being able to stop somebody. He's he does all what he does, which is shooting. But he goes in the post and, so it's just like, this dude is amazing. And then they have shot blocking and Serge Ibaka. And then they have a big presence with, I think Kendrick was there at the time.
Yeah.
And then they have Steven Adams. Steven Adams was raw.
But he's a goon.
But at this time when we played him, and he's a goon. So he's like a matchup with Draymond, which like, so it's matchup with the bigs that we have. The whole team was set up in such a way that they were supposed to be in the finals.
Right.
But given the type of guys that we had and we were always going to try to win. We were always trying to figure out a way to win, right? They asked Klay the game after, I think it was game 5 where we were supposed to lose over there.
Right.
Or game 6 where Klay goes crazy.
In that one quarter, it was in this whole second half, but that one quarter. When you're watching that and you're out there playing with him, you're on the bench, you're watching the whole thing, like, are you almost like
you almost start watching after a while because like you're going to set a screen for somebody and they just pull it from half court and do I go rebound? Okay, all right, we'll just keep going. We just go back.
When those guys, particularly Steph and Klay, they're such good shooters. And if you're setting a screen like by the 3-point area, like, are you just assuming it's going to go in? You've watched them in practice. I told you I got to watch a Golden State Warriors practice. And this guy, Klay, who's like the guy who gets the least credit because Draymond's the loudest, KD's KD, Steph's Steph. Klay, I'm watching this guy work out full sweat on a game day. Like, you've seen it every day. Like, are you like, that's going in?
I've seen it. I've seen so much crazy stuff happen in practice that when you get to the games, it's just like, that's going. I mean, no matter what, half court, 3-point line, layup, like, it's all going in because you see it so much. I mean, Steph made 77 3-pointers in a row in practice.
You saw him do it.
Like, we were all there. 77 3-pointers in a row. But it's just, it's repetition. They do this every day. It's not like they come in and this is some supernatural ability. It becomes that because they work at this every day. Steph has been doing this. They all work hard. Klay does this every day. They have their routines. And so, they're going to make a lot in a row because this is what they do. Like, this is second nature to me. That's why he can shoot the ball and turn around and know it's going in, because I've done this so many times, you can't understand it. I've shot this millions of times from this spot. KD said that last year when he pulled up on LeBron. He said, I've been working on this shot for years.
Right.
You just happen to see it right now. You're not in practice with me. But that's what we do as basketball players. We work on our shots all the time.
Right.
But they are elite because they're elite level work.
Yeah, they're just
work ethic.
When I ask you about like the 73 win series and the up 3-1 against LeBron, is it still hard to stomach how frustrating that series was after all the highs of the 73 wins, after coming off a championship, after having this fucking guy down? You had them fucking down. How, like, is it still, like, do you, like, lay it, if your mind gets on, obviously, you move on with life, you deal with injuries, but, like, if you
don't move on from that.
Is it still hard to, like...
It's always going to be something in the back of my mind of, like, what could I have done? What could we have done? How did that happen the way it was supposed to happen? I was with the guys this year at the start, the first game of the season this year when they got their rings from this past season. And I was so happy for my guys. Like, those are my brothers. We went through so many battles together. And but they're always going to be my brothers for life. And I was so happy for them. On the second side of it is they just got retribution from that. They got retribution from that 3-1 loss, which was the most humiliating. Everybody, I was in Europe earlier. I was in Europe, and people know about this all over the world. Like, that's what the Warriors were. We were a symbol all around the world. People were rooting for us from everywhere. And so we became like I don't even know what you call them, like a rock star group or something.
Right.
And so for us to lose that series the way we did, we could always talk about Draymond's suspension and how it played out, but the team was beat up, and LeBron and Kyrie were just too damn good. They were just too good. There was nothing to do to stop those guys once they got going.
What do you remember about the locker room afterwards when they won?
What do you say about that? Like, there's nothing to say. It was just like, damn. Like, and it put life in perspective. Like, I think one of the greatest moments of my life was winning the championship the year before. One of the worst moments of my life was losing that championship. The year before, we didn't expect, you always expect to win, but you don't expect to win, because when you win, it's like, oh my God, this is euphoric. I can't believe this actually happened. And so in that regard, we didn't really expect to win because it's amazing. And then when you expect to win and then lose, probably one of the worst moments in my life. Just, like I said before, I hate losing, but then losing in the way that we did, especially given that I wasn't 100% and able to help my team the way I wanted to, I mean, it haunts me till today.
I bet.
And I don't want to play basketball if that is the way that I get to play basketball.
You mean physically, being?
Yeah. No. So I want to win. I'm a winner. Like, right. That's how I view myself. So I want to be able to do what I do on an elite level. So that's why I put myself through this whole process of I don't care how long it takes me. I will be back, and I'll be back at full strength.
When, you're highly educated, your story is so unusual in terms of making it to the NBA, the business of basketball, KD gets traded or picked up, free agents, they got to make space. Is it a tough pill? Like you're drafted by this team, this iconic team. You guys go through everything it takes to make it to a championship. You go through the losing a championship. Is it like the business of basketball and like having to be separated from something that's so near and dear to your heart? Was that like a hard thing, or were you like, well, this is just the way this business works, and we'll have these memories? Like, is it hard to sort of separate? Because it's like, when you get traded. I
didn't get traded.
You got what?
I signed with.
Right. Okay. Signed. Yeah. But when you have to like move on in your basketball career, is it a tough, or are you like? I mean, like, how do you process that, especially about something so special?
Hey, I'll tell a story about the first time I was a part of an NBA trade. My rookie year, we had a few guys on our team: Charles Jenkins, Jeremy Tyler, and I think. Did Kent Bazemore get traded? No, he didn't get traded that year. And so that year, a couple guys got traded from our team. This is us as rookies. This is me, Draymond, and Harrison as rookies. And we were kind of waiting around before the trade deadline. I think 5 minutes before the trade deadline, it comes through. And so they call us to the locker room, and we have a meeting. And during this locker room meeting, like, they break down in tears. Like, we're literally all sitting there like, man, this is crazy, man. This business is wild. And this is us. This is our introduction. This is Mark Jackson walking in the locker room like, we always family, man. We always family. And that was my first introduction to being traded, the business of basketball. And it's hard for you to take it personally because everybody wants to win. And it has to happen. But it doesn't make it any easier. So being through the trenches with my guys and my brothers, they're still my guys till today, obviously. Right. And I still talk to them and support them and everything. But yeah, of course, yeah. Seeing the team broken up, I felt like if we stayed together, we would have absolutely gotten retribution. But with the team that they had and seeing them winning last year, I was just as happy for them as I would have for myself. So it's exciting. It's also inspiring.
So here we are. There's 4 teams left. Give me your analysis of Cleveland, Boston. I'm in a conundrum. As a New York Knicks fan, I can't root for Boston, but I'll never root for Cleveland.
You can't root against them, though. Them young boys are hooping, man.
I'm with them. I have to do it, but it's like, for me, it's really like I have to, like, it's a distorted thing. Like, I'm rooting.
Can't you just root for the East Coast?
That's my excuse. I'm working with different excuses because I'm not rooting for Cleveland. And those dudes are, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and that coach
Rozier.
and my man Horford.
Horford is on a tear right now.
I love the way he plays.
I think he's an understated. I think when he signed his contract last year, people were in awe of like, why? How?
Now you're seeing it. Last night you saw it.
He's carrying a whole team on his back with young guys, and they have an attitude of, you're not going to outwork us. And you will be surprised at how much that can win you games in the NBA. Just that attitude alone. Forget the X's and O's. The games, the little things like being able to have each other's back. Defense. Rozier goes over to Joel Embiid. He gets an offensive rebound. At the end of the game, Rozier goes over and slaps the ball out of his hand, goes off his knee, out of bounds. That's the game right there. Mm-hmm. Little things like that. That's having the attitude to have your teammates back. I was a part of that. Mm-hmm. And I know what that is. I know why that wins you championships. Mm-hmm. That's why you can't count those guys out. So I actually love that team. I love the way they play. They move and cut just like the Warriors and just like the Spurs. And I love that about their game. It's not standing and watching. Mm-hmm. So that's basketball. Mm-hmm. That's the real essence of basketball. That's how it should be played. And that's what I learned from being with the Warriors. So that style of play, watching them play against Philly, the way they win and the way they beat people before is youth, right? So they're this talented group of guys. They make a lot of threes, but they out-hustle everybody. Mm-hmm. That was their thing. They have TJ McConnell come in. Dario Saric is a beast on the boards, understated. I think that's one of their X factors on that team. JJ Redick is obviously doing his thing, but all these guys hustle, and they outfight you and outwork you, and Ben Simmons can't shoot, but he's out there averaging 18 points a game. How? They outfighting you. But they got to the Boston Celtics, and the Boston says, nah, you're not going to outwork us. You got to do something else. And it's just like for the first time in the whole year, they got punched in the mouth, and they looked like rookies. That's why sometimes you have to go through those moments, though. I think that's what makes champions. You have to go through those moments of where you get punched in the mouth and you get beat up, and then you come back the next year as a better team of, yo, this is what we got. We got the experience now. That's what it is to have experience. That's why it's so important for everybody when they say, well, that team, they're good, but they don't have the experience. That's what it means, because they don't know what it's like to have that adversity of everything is not going our way. How do we win?
I got you. I agree. So that being said, LeBron is freakier than ever.
Yeah, I don't know how you go from a Game 7 with the Indiana Pacers to just sweeping the number one team in the conference. I don't know if it's mind control or it's incredible.
He ruined them. They should have just, after that Game 3 shot that off the backboard, they should have just.
You know what it is, though? I think there's something about, that Game 1, the Game 1 that they won in Toronto, that gave that team so much life. The confidence in our sport is everything. It gave the Cleveland Cavaliers so much life, so much so that Tristan Thompson came out the next game and had 12 and 14. Like, yo, I'm back. Like, everybody wanted a piece of the Toronto Raptors at that point because of the confidence they gave him from Game 1. And so that was just a tough thing. Once that train starts rolling, I told you about even that 3-1 lead, we had him down. But with a suspension of Draymond and us not being the best, Bogut gets hurt, I'm hurt. Steph is still hobbling. It's just like it was a train that we couldn't stop. So in our sport, it's confidence is a huge thing. And I've watched this game. I watch games so much now, and I don't know if I'm turning into a basketball analyst, but I can read. I can see. Like, I see when I can see the slump shoulders of damn, they got them. Man, he's about to miss that free throw. Because I was watching something, and I think Joel was struggling a little bit. And one of the times he gets fouled, he puts his hands up like, oh, man, dude, I can't get a break. And I called it right before that, he's about to miss this free throw. Why? Because I just have seen so many clips of guys and their body language before different things. I'm starting to read everything. I'm reading. I know where the guys want to go now. I'm watching all these different things. That's how, I've gotten better through my process.
I got you.
Obviously, I'm rocking with my boys in Golden State. They are.
You knew where my next question was.
This next series of them versus Houston is going to be interesting because it's the best of two different styles of play. Golden State Warriors, they move the ball. After every game, Coach would come back, Coach Kerr would come back into the locker room and we'd talk about number of passes. We would win the game by 20, and he would say, well, we didn't move the ball as much this game. We only had 200 passes. We got to do better. They're 370. I can't remember what was the limit, but this is what we have to do every game. This is how we win. We win playing our style of basketball. That's what
I never even heard that term, number of passes.
Yeah. We have to make sure everybody touched the ball because when you move the ball like that, it makes everything happen. Now you make the defense work. Now they're not scoring like that on the other hand because they don't have any legs. And then it's basketball is a total game with the Golden State Warriors. I think that their style of play works the best for them. And when you have that, you have offense and defense on that team. Now you have the Houston Rockets who are, they call it hero ball, but I think they just have elite scorers. They have Chris Paul and James Harden. I've been a part of 2 series with the Houston Rockets, both years, the year we won and the year we lost. And they had Dwight Howard and, obviously they had a little chemistry issues. In terms of the way they play, I've seen James Harden be – the Golden State Warriors they'll wear you out because you have to carry such a load on offense. And if you don't play defense, you're going to get like everybody shoots, everybody scores. If they're not scoring. If you have me there, they're throwing the ball up to me. I'm dunking. Like it's just everybody's a threat. And so when you have that, it's so hard for you to play on one side of the ball. For the load that he had to carry those years, they keep talking about how he let his team down. It's just like, I'm tired. Like that's what the Warriors do. They make you he's tired. So now he has Chris Paul. Chris Paul is probably one of the best point guards in the game.
Playing good.
He's playing amazing. He's the guy that he could be the captain of the ship. This is going to be a great matchup with him and Steph because they always go at it every time. Obviously, there was a point where there was an argument for the best 2 guard in the NBA, and Klay Thompson and James Harden were the options. if you go through those, then you go through the every matchup is interesting.
Right.
Every matchup is interesting to me.
Right. I agree.
I mean, Trevor Ariza is a great defender. He's long, athletic. Can he stop KD? That's gonna be a hard task.
Right.
But he's gonna do his best. Clint Capella, he's been playing. I mean, he's probably the most improved player to me.
I
this year.
agree.
I mean, Victor Oladipo did his thing. But,
Yeah.
oh my God, like what Clint Capella is doing. They're running pick and rolls for him now.
Yeah.
I'm watching this like, yo, this is amazing. And watching my African brother do his thing. I always support, Joel. I support him. I support Victor Oladipo. All these guys are doing their thing. So watching him, block shots, rebound, do all these things for their team, and then be that outlet, which is an offensive rebounds, or being able to get a dunk every time they drive and they're stuck. They just throw the ball up to them. That is the essential point of the game. That's a very essential part of the game.
So who's winning this series?
I can't go against what they're the defending champs. You have to beat them. You have to beat the
right.
Yeah, there's no we can't support you unless we see them be beaten.
Right.
They haven't been beaten yet.
I agree.
First time they haven't had home court advantage since 2014. So it's hard for me to go against those guys. I mean, not just being biased that they're my dudes, more also because they're a good team. They play basketball the way that I know is a very hard way to stop. That's why Pop is such an amazing coach, because he gets people to play basketball that way. Coach Kerr obviously tenured with him, so he played under Coach Pop, so he knows what it is, why they are so successful.
Well, I'm gonna be rooting for Golden State, and then I want Golden State versus Cleveland again. But I hope
Boston.
I want Boston to kill them, but it's hard to bet against LeBron.
It's hard to bet against LeBron.
I would like Boston to shut it down. But it's like betting against Tom Brady. It's like betting against Sugar Ray Leonard in his prime. It's like betting against Magic Johnson. Like it's hard to bet against.
I thought Philly would have been such a good matchup for them.
Right, but they just not ready. Then you know what? They're fine. These guys 20 years old. Ben Simmons 20. They'll be all right.
I'm talking about myself. I want to watch a good game.
Right,
but I think Boston is going to.
No, they're going to be good.
Boston's going to be a great. I want to see. They say you can't out coach talent. But I still think that it's going to be it's going to be a task for LeBron to be able to, everybody talks about how his defense has slipped. I don't know what y'all talking about, because he sat there and guarded. Granted, you call it, what'd you call it? You said goaltending. Your Instagram, you're making fun of him goaltending against Oladipo, but, he breaks it out when he needs to.
Yeah,
and
he's good. He's straight.
Yeah.
He don't get he's fine. It's going to be a good Eastern and Western Conference finals. All right, Festus Ezeli, I'm gonna let you go. We talked so much shit, and I feel like we could keep going. You should, when you're done, you could be an analyst, because just going off the cuff right here, the way you talk about the game is interesting. I like the way you talk about basketball.
It's just watching a lot of basketball and knowing what it is that I want to get from it. I'm a defensive player, so I have to know all these different tendencies to understand how the game flows. Plus, playing with Golden State Warriors, they make you understand that stuff. But last off, I want to give a shout out. So, Rebuilding the Beast is the movement that I started. And what it is for everybody. I think that this whole process became much bigger than myself, because people were supporting me from all over the world. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody who is going through some adversities in their life and have to tap into that inner beast to get through it. I think that's what it's about. It's not about just being physically fit and, getting through whatever ailments you have. It's also about, challenges, people that can't pay their bills and going through adversities and challenges, people who have someone die or someone is sick. And you have to have something inside of you that keeps you going. And I've had people support me, and they keep me going, and being strong when you can't be strong anymore. That's what it's about. So I want to give a shout out to Rebuilding the Beast and everybody who's been a part of the process and everybody who's rebuilding their beast right now.
I appreciate that. That's dope. All right, Festus, I'm gonna let you go. Keep going.
My man.
We're gonna stay in the gym. We got the cadaver knee, and I'm gonna see you around Los Angeles, my man.
You got it.
All right, cool. That was dope. I told you it was dope. Hashtag Rebuilding the Beast, Festus Ezeli. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for coming through. I want to have him come back and just talk straight hoops throughout the playoffs. Again, me and G Moody, last name rhymes with duty. The Dust Brothers, Miles and Jordan, will be at the Clusterfest, clusterfest.com for tickets, June 3rd in San Francisco. Way to bring the noise, Monetti.
Yeah.
Festus, thank you for rocking with the best on the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. You can follow him on social media. Talks a lot of shit. You can follow his workout, follow the results of his cadaver surgery, which he talked about. All that and more. Miles, Jordan, take us out of here with something funky. Stay tuned for all. Be on alert for all emergency episodes because one is coming shortly to an I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast app. Premium subscriber near you. Get the app. Pay the $2.99. You fuck you. Let me get something funky. I'm out.
Peace.